What is up? What is going on? Today, we are going to be discussing the three-time championship bogus that I've been hearing from the Adesanya fan base. And what you guys are going to be hearing is Adesanya, three-time champ and only three-time champ incoming in the middleweight division. And the funny thing is, you've never heard this before, right? You'll hear like 5 times champ for a guy like Kamaru Usman. 5 times champ for a guy like Volkanovski, right? But we rarely ever hear a flex of 3-time champ. The funny thing is Adesanya has more title wins. That's the funny thing. He has more title wins than just 3. All that a 3-time champ means is that you lost the belt twice and you gained it back a 3rd time. How is this a flex? Am I the only one that's losing my mind over this shit? Am I the only one that's losing my mind over this? Seriously. What's going on? Actually losing to Pereira, Strickland, Whitaker, and Snooze Fest with Cannonier and Vittori. He's the GOAT. Yep. Yeah, definitely. You've been hating on Adesanya for the past few days. Listen, I just think it's actually infuriating to hear people flexing this like 3-time champ BS. For real. Like, yes, he would be a 3 and new, but they're acting as if that means 3 championships and that's it. Like, bro, we know what it means. It's a fucking cope. It's a cope. I'm tired of it. They're saying it the same way that you would say 5-time Super Bowl champ, 2-time World Cup champ. But because Adesanya has won more titles than just 3, which is a good thing, which is what they should be flexing, what 3 times champ is actually, wait a second, that just means that he lost the belt, gained it back. So that was a 2-time middleweight champ. Then he lost it again and gained it back. So we're hyping this dude up because of his losses? Is that it? And they're trying to play it off like it's a big thing. Like, oh, this is every title win. People think it holds value like the WWE. I just think it's a disingenuous way to hype him up. Like it's the biggest cope ever. It's the biggest cope ever. Adesanya is not the best at anything in the UFC middleweight division. He's not on the all-time top 10 list. And so they're like grasping at straws to hype up this 3-time champ BS. Seriously. I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. I've been seeing it all over the place. Here's an Adesanya comment section on Freestyle Bender. Izzy's 3-time coming up. Yeah, 3-time botched. And this guy's like, that's not a flex, bro. Being the second person to become a 3-time world champ isn't a flex. What the heck, man? Dude, again, they don't just mean he won the belt 3 times. Because then, okay, flex it. But there's been a million people. What do they mean by the first and only 3-time champ? It means that Adesanya lost the belt and gained the belt back 3 times. Or he got the belt from not having it 3 times. But that just means you were not a dominant champion. So like being the only one to not be a dominant champ and being gifted title win or title shot after title shot undeservedly, that's literally what it means. That's literally what it means. Do you count the interim title? No, you can't count the interim title. I know that the Gastelum fight was solid and it was one of the best fights ever, but you can't just count it just because it was a good fight. A lot of people tend to count Adesanya's Gastelum title win, but they just do that because it was a sick fight, one of the best fights of all time, but you can't be biased. If you're not going to count interim titles, then you should never count interim titles. Like if you're not going to count Yair Rodriguez as a champion or a title win, because it's not, then you can't count Adesanya's against Gastelum. We got to be honest about it. Yeah. It's not about losses. It's about getting back up and grinding your way back. I understand that. I get it. But acting as if like the 3-time champ, saying, bro, Adesanya's a 3-time champ. Like as if that's the same thing as winning MVP 3 years in a row in another sport. As if that's the same thing as like being 3-time defending NBA champions. Like let's not forget, a title win is always impressive. Okay? I'm more impressed with like title wins in general. How many do you have? Who were they against? Were you able to hold on to the belt or not? Volkanovski's a 5-time champ. 6-time. He had 6 title wins. Kamaru Usman, how many title wins does he have? 6? You know, Adesanya's got like 6 title wins, 7 title wins. Why not just say 7 title champ? 7-time champ. You get it. It's annoying. Like, it literally requires him to lose and not defend that belt. And it requires him to be given undeserved title shots. What's more impressive, losing your belt once and not being able to come back because you're not good enough, or coming back because you're not good? Okay, so again, you're asking this as if those are the only 2 options. Losing your belt once and not being able to come back obviously is not better than coming back because you're that good. But guess what? Those are not the only 2 options. You know, there's another option. The other option is you never lose the title. The other option is you'd actually continue to beat people and don't go 500. The other option is you beat Sean Strickland and you beat Alex Pereira and you beat Robert Whittaker in the rematch. Those are the other options too. And you beat Jan Blachowicz. That's another option. You know, there are champions that actually don't lose for a while, right? So again, it's just really weird how these Adesanya fans are acting like he's one of a kind. Holy shit, the only guy? He's not the only guy to lose a title. What the fuck? You guys are acting like he's the only guy to lose a title. Lots of people lose titles. Why are we hyping him up for losing titles? Because he's coming back? Yeah, because he's being given a title shot every fucking fight. When Adesanya's not fought for a belt for like 10 years, bro. Of course he's going to win fights. He's good. We all know he's good. But it's like, if he's only fighting for titles, of course, sometimes he's going to fucking win if he's good. Like, I'm not saying Izzy's bad, but saying 3-time champ as if it's the same thing as 3-time Super Bowl champ. 3-time Super Bowl. Fuck that. I'm yelling at a minority. I know. I'm speaking to the choir right now, but like, guys, please, I've not seen enough pushback. It's not impressive when you get unlimited title shots. Thank you, bro. That's what I mean. Like, listen, this guy is like, you know, this is us right here. This is us right here. You know what I mean? This is us. The 35 likes ratioed him right here. I'm making this thumbnail and I'm basically driving this home because this is what we're going to be hearing in the buildup. And I don't want fuckers like DC and Chael Sonnen and Anthony Smith and Michael Bisping to just in passing say things like, I mean, you gotta be a legend to be a 3-time middleweight champ. They're going to be saying this all the time. They're going to be saying this in the build-up to this fight. Adesanya fans are going to be commenting on every single one of his posts. 3-time champ. 3-time champ. We need to fucking hammer that shit. All right? We need to burn that shit down. We can't let it happen. So every time you see someone talk some shit about 3-time champ, you need to let him know, bro, that's not a flex. That just means that he's given unlimited title shots and he's losing and not able to hold on to the belt. That's the reason why I'm freaking driving this point home. You can't let that shit go. Don't let it pass. Adesanya fans are like grasping onto straws. He has the most overrated legacy ever. Oh, my goodness. I know, but how many people retire without losing their belt? It's obviously better not to lose, but it's always better to come back than not. I know, but the thing is, saying the only 3-time champ. Like, what other champion has been giving unlimited title shots? You know what I mean? And he's 2-4 in his last 4 fights. Like, that's not impressive. You know what I mean? Or 2-2 in his last 4 fights. He's only won 2 out of his last 4. Out of his last 8 fights, I think he's like 4-4. You get what I'm saying? I understand it's impressive to like get a win in a championship setting. And it's impressive to bounce back from a loss. Yes. But there are plenty of fighters that bounce back from a loss. There are plenty of contenders that aren't champions that bounce back from losses. Plenty of them. Right? But we're not sitting here and hyping them up like they just did something that's never been done before. Right? People can win after they lose. It's not a complete career death sentence to lose a fight all the time. And if you give some of the top 3 contenders in each division nonstop title shots over and over and over again, they're fighting for a title every fucking fight. Yeah, dude, they're bound to become a 2-time champ. You know, if you continue to give Robert Whittaker title shot after title shot after title shot after title shot, Whittaker would have been a 4-time middleweight champ. You get my point? Whittaker should have been a 2-time middleweight champ. Next time Whittaker fights for a belt, if he does, we should be saying literally. Next time Whittaker fights for a belt, we should be saying 3-time middleweight champ. If we were, annoying and disingenuous, because technically he beat Adesanya in the rematch. Technically he did. Lucas, please keep the same energy for Aldo. What about Aldo? Aldo didn't. I mean, what are you talking about? No one's talking about Aldo becoming champ again. DDP will beat Adesanya so bad it will be considered a hate crime. Dude, I think he's going to destroy Adesanya. I'm starting to hear the same stuff that we were hearing going into the Whittaker 1 fight. DDP's so sloppy. Like, Strickland was just a bad matchup for Adesanya. I honestly think he's going to pick DDP apart easily. Dude, Adesanya's counter-striking is overrated. You see these clips of Dricus du Plessis like over-swinging and running past Sean Strickland? The issue is Adesanya is like running away from those blitzes. Yoel Romero blitzed down Adesanya multiple times, and we saw Adesanya turn his back and run away. Izzy's going to be like circling the cage. Not saying that's a bad move. Like, you got to get out of the way of the Captain Underpants blitz, but Adesanya is going to be like running from the blitz every now and then. He's not just going to always counter every single time Dricus is open. You know what I mean? Dricus is a guy that hits hard. Izzy's not going to want to get hit by him. He's not going to want to stand right in front of him. What we're most likely going to see is Adesanya just kickbox and throw leg kicks and throw front kicks up the middle and throw a fucking jab every now and then. And I just don't think that's going to be threatening enough to Dricus du Plessis. I think he's going to keep a high guard and march him down and fuck him up. I honestly think that, you know what? This is the one. I almost fell into the trap. Because, the vibe tells me Izzy's going to get the belt back, but logic tells me, wait a second, you constantly make the same mistake of saying Adesanya is not as good as people say he is, but then always picking him and giving him the benefit of the doubt. It's like, bro, we have to remember, you're having a freaking razor close fight with Cannonier. You're not dominating Marvin Vettori. You're losing to Robert Whittaker. You're losing to Sean Strickland. You're losing to Pereira. You're knocking him out when he's chinny. Like, yeah, Izzy's good, but I think Dricus is just a nightmare for him. I think Dricus is going to outstrike him. I can't believe I'm going to say that, but I think Dricus is going to outstrike him. I think, honestly, Dricus has a better jab than Izzy. Guru needs suicide watch if Izzy sleeps DDP. He's going to be fine. Honestly, that'll probably be good for his channel. But like, if Izzy sleeps... No. If Dricus beats Izzy... Okay, this is my prediction. If Dricus beats Izzy, MMA Guru's video is going to get like 150K views. If Izzy sleeps Dricus, MMA Guru's recap video is going to get 300K. All right? So, I don't know. I mean, I think he'll be fine. He will be depressed. It depends on how Dricus beats him. If Dricus like destroys Izzy for 5 rounds and TKOs him, then I actually think that his video will get a lot. But yeah. If Dricus just like beats him by a regular decision, I mean, obviously we're all going to be hyped if we want Dricus to win, but yeah, it won't be terrible for him if Izzy wins. The thing is, like, Adesanya winning is going to piss me off. It's going to piss him off. It's going to piss a lot of people off, but that means we're still going to be emotionally invested in his career, and we're going to want him to lose his next one. And like, that's going to create more war with the Adesanya fan base. And it's fun. Like, we need these rivalries. It's not only a rivalry between Dricus and Izzy, it's a rivalry between the fan bases. And that's fun for the sport. Like, it's not even going to be that bad if Izzy wins. It's going to suck. I'm going to eat my words. Like, I'm going to look like a fool, but life will go on and we'll have more fun talking about it. Bro, how can you be a DDP fan? I just don't understand why people think it's, I don't know, is Dricus boring or something? Like, what do you mean, how could I be a DDP fan? Dricus is one of the most entertaining fighters, and Adesanya's easy to root against in one of these fights, and Adesanya's kind of adding fuel to the fire by talking about Dricus' ancestors and shit and race baiting. So, I mean, Dricus is just chilling. Dricus honestly has been respectful in the build-up to this. Dricus said the other day he has a ton of respect for Adesanya. Izzy's going to be talking all the shit. So, pretty easy to get behind Dricus. Have you seen that one retard comment on UFC's Instagram comparing Izzy getting a title rematch to Volk? I know. It has 10K likes somehow. I know. Yeah, we're going to destroy it right now. I already left a comment to respond to it. I responded to it and my comment got 120. But again, like, I just need to tell you guys, we can't let these like passing comments slide. Thank you for the 7 months membership, Flipper Boy. If anyone says something like 3-time champ, you have to let them know, bro, you're basically hyping up a guy that's not able to hold on to a belt, but that's given a chance to fight for a title every single fight. Eventually, he's going to win a couple of them. Like, what are you really hyping up? Mediocrity? You're hyping up a guy that's just like a top 3 regular fucking middleweight guy? Like, anyone in the top 3 of most divisions, if they were given a title shot every single fight, could become a 2-time champ or 3-time champ. All right? Unless there's someone like Makhachev or Volk, right? If you gave Merab a title shot for every single fight for freaking 8 years straight, I guarantee you he'd be like 3-time, 4-time champ. Big Ugly Low Kicks tier list needed. Thank you for the $2. That'd be a pretty difficult tier list to make because, you know, how it's pretty hard to get a wide variety of big, ugly low kicks. But maybe like a leg kick one. How far does Diego Lopez go? Thank you for the $2. I think he could become champ. If he destroys Brian Ortega and drops him and knocks him out, I could see him beating Topuria. But let's go to Instagram real quick. I forget which post it was. Guys. That was hyping up Adesanya as a 3-time champ. Was it the UFC's page? I think it may have been the UFC's page. Yeah, this may have been it. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yep. Yeah, we're going to shut this down. Again, this is like a perfect example of the type of stuff that we're going to be hearing. So, this guy says Adesanya deserves it the same way Volk deserves his rematch. Y'all just don't like him. 13,000 likes. So, let's talk about this. Again, Volkanovski, going into the Ilia Topuria fight, was undefeated at featherweight, had never lost in that division. Adesanya, going into this fight, has lost 4 times, if you want to be technical, in the middleweight division. Yoel Romero, Robert Whittaker back in the day. Okay? Back in the day, those are already 2 losses. You want to get real technical? You're saying, oh, well, those weren't. Well, what about the Strickland one and what about the Pereira one? In his last 3 fights, okay, he's lost 2 fights. Adesanya has been given a title shot upon return every single time. He's done nothing but fight for a belt. Volkanovski never lost the title. Volkanovski never lost a featherweight belt, ever. Never lost a fight at featherweight. And just lost the title to Ilia Topuria. Don't even fucking compare the two ever when it comes to who deserves it more. All right? It's not even the same thing. Not even the same thing. Volk was undefeated in his division. Lost just now. Was a more dominant champion. Literally, one of the most dominant champions ever. Don't even start. Don't even freaking play with me. Seriously. Thank you for the $2.99. Lucas Twerk, Nakey, all gas, no brakes. Okay. Thank you for the $2.99. Gastelum versus Rodriguez moved to middleweight. Gastelum versus Rodriguez moved to middleweight. Rodriguez moved to middleweight. Oh, interesting. That doesn't change my pick of the fight. I think that Rodriguez is probably just going to have an even better chin, be even faster. So, I like that. I do like that. By the way, we do have some new fights. I still am picking Shara Magomedov to beat Mackenzie Dern's boyfriend. I don't know why Dana White's acting like Tricoli has this like huge UFC debut. Like, why is this guy even a fucking big deal? Who even cares about Tricoli? Dana White's sitting here. Let's watch that. Let's watch that announcement. Give me 1 second, guys. Dana White. Just got to make sure that there's no fight clips on there. Is this it? Yeah. Last minute replacement, huh?
Undefeated, 12-0, with 10 of those wins coming by knockout. Well, already in one day, Luderbach is out.
All right, let's see if he show. Maybe he's not going to show a clip of like the Dana White Contender Series. Here.
And this fight has been replaced 3 times. So Antonio Tricoli makes his UFC debut on 3 days' notice. He's got 12 wins, 3 by knockout, 5 by submission.
Imagine hyping up someone with 3 knockout wins. Tricoli's got 12 wins, 3 by knockout, 5 by submission, and he's be seen in a couple of posts with Mackenzie Dern. Why are we acting like this is hype?
And is currently riding a 3-fight win streak. Tricoli has a massive 9-inch reach advantage. This should be a fun fight. I love guys that step up. I'm literally getting...
I mean, like, I think this is a great showcase for Magomedov. Shara Magomedov. I know it's a grappler, so that makes it somewhat interesting, but I like that. I really like that a lot. I'm happy to hear it. So, yeah. When's the Bedtime versus Lucas Torkov? Well, never. But me and Bedtime are going to collab again, guys. We're going to do another collab. Let me know what topics you guys want. I'd like to hear some suggestions, though, but we're going to collab again next week. So if you guys have any topics you want us to discuss or debate, it doesn't even have to be a debate. It could just be we're going for sort of like an ESPN style of show. So if you have any, I don't know, rankings you want us to do, or here, you know, give us your top 5 this, give us your top 5 that, and we could debate it out or something, then we could do one of those. So yeah. Thank you for the $5. My favorite shirt. DDP should bring up Izzy grabbing his dog's dick on cam during the press conference. People forget, man. People do forget, but I don't think people are going to forget that one. Thank you for the $5. I don't know what Drickus is going to do, but I wouldn't be surprised if he brings that up. That does seem like something he's going to do. He's probably going to stay clear of all the race stuff. Listen, I know that MMA Guru's planning like a war room with Drickus where he's going to give him a bunch of advice. I really do think Drickus should stay clear of all the racial talk and just be the bigger man. Let Adesanya talk his shit. Let Adesanya throw his stones. Because of course, like, they're just going to be harsh on Drickus no matter what he says. And Adesanya is trying to get him to, you know, play into that. And it's going to make Izzy look so stupid. It's going to make him look like, you know, that guy with the typical victim mentality. If he just continues to talk about this stuff and Drickus just doesn't play into it. Drickus needs to just be himself. He needs to just represent his country of South Africa, just be himself and smile and wave. Really. I think Drickus just needs to smile and wave and show up to the press conference with a big cheesy grin. No, but seriously, Drickus should go... Dude, Drickus should let Izzy try to do all this race baiting, and Drickus should just freaking show up with a freaking army of South Africans, bro. Army of South Africans. Everyone, you know, black South Africans, white South Africans. That's what he should do. And he should just have all of them shake their head in disgust when Adesanya talks. Literally, listen, he can't play into that stuff. He can definitely talk a little bit of shit, but I think if he doesn't play into it, then he's going to make Izzy look like a real dick. Really. Thank you for the $2. Shara's going to see Dern and Tricoli PDA go. Yeah, that actually will motivate him, right? Shara is the guy that knocks people out for kissing their girlfriend. I've seen some people defend that online too, which is just so annoying. Bro, you got to have respect. They don't fuck with that in Russia. Like, brother, what the fuck? They think all of Russia's like Dagestan or something like that. They think all of Russia is Chechnya, Dagestan, but people can have regular, normal relationships out in public. You know what I mean? Kissing your girlfriend in public, and they're acting like that's not a thing people do in Russia. Are you fucking retarded? But either way. Merit versus revenue, the never-ending MMA war. Thank you for the $2. Yeah, I mean, listen, Shara definitely did the wrong thing, but, you know, I can kind of separate that from his fight style. His fight style is pretty cool. I will give him that. It's a Muslim. I get that. I understand that. You're not supposed to do that in Muslim countries, but I've just heard people saying that that's not a part of Russian culture because he's in Russia. They got to freaking clarify that's not a part of Muslim culture in Dagestan. It's not like a thing that you're not allowed to do in Russia. Thank you for the $2. Merit versus revenue, the never-ending MMA war. Yeah. Listen, there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. Although Adesanya does listen. Although Adesanya doesn't really deserve this fight, you know, this is too good to pass up on. Come on, guys. It is too good to pass up on. But we gotta at least say, all right, he doesn't deserve it, but we may as well. As long as we have Strickland waiting in the wings. And like sometimes you gotta give someone a title shot based on merit, but sometimes a fight is too good to pass up on. Like, let's not forget, a lot of the double champ fights were not totally earned by merit, right? Henry Cejudo moving up to bantamweight, that was a little different since he was supposed to beat TJ Dillashaw and then TJ popped. So the plans were for him to move up to bantamweight anyway before TJ had popped, right? They were setting up 2 fights with them if he were to win. But Conor McGregor moves up after, what, 1 title win? Or an interim title win and a regular title win. And who are the other double champs? Like, I think GSP is a little bit different since he was a big star. But Daniel Cormier only defended a few times. Nah, I think he deserved it. I think he did deserve it a little bit. But it's not like most people that move up a weight class to fight for a double champ status have like 5 title wins. You know what I mean? Yeah. There are some fights that are just so awesome, like we just can't pass up on them. Like if Francis Ngannou wanted to come back to the UFC and he was telling Dana White, listen, I'll come back, just pay me $500K to show. Like if Francis, I know this is not realistic, but let's say he didn't even care. That's a fight that's too good to pass up on, right? We don't need Francis to come back and earn it. Bedtime X Lucas podcast, give it to the people. It's coming. We're going to do another one next week. We will be doing another one next week. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, give us some suggestions. Like if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Rankings, debates, let us know because we're going to do another one. Answer the question, Derek Lewis, unlimited gas or 25 strawweight women? I think 25 strawweight women would be too much for him. That'd definitely be too much for him. 25 is a lot. Even though Derek Lewis with an unlimited gas tank may be the best heavyweight of all time. He can only keep that for like a couple minutes in the 5th round and 1 minute in the first. 30 seconds in the first. Derek Lewis has 1 flurry of punches in the first before his gas tank is 50% out of the way. Are you familiar with the sauce video cooking? I'm curious if you've ever tried it. The sous vide cooking. No. I'm currently testing it with a chicken breast. I honestly have never heard of that, Matthew. So thank you for the $5 Australian. I've never heard of that. Never. But yeah, guys, I'm getting really back into fitness stuff. And I'm going to do a vlog for you next week. So next week, we're going to do a vlog. Sous vide. Oh, no, let me look it up. I see Indian woman. Oh, the perfect steak cooking. Oh, a food vacuum sealed in a cooking pouch. I don't know. That doesn't. So you basically cook the food. You marinate the food, put it into a bag, and cook it in the bag. But doesn't. I don't know. That looks kind of nasty, to be honest. Like you're basically just boiling. You're basically just boiling meat. I would imagine it could get kind of soggy. I don't know. It sounds... And what about the plastic seeping into it? That's something that I would worry about. I wouldn't want plastic seeping into my steak. I don't like the idea of warming up meat wrapped in tight plastic. I don't know. I'd rather just cook my food on the pan. Oh, food grade silicone bag? I don't know. I don't trust that. Thank you for the $2. Saw you simping on Fight. That wasn't me. It was a fake account, but no, definitely not. But thank you for the $2. Definitely no. Who wins that fantasy matchup? Habib or Tony Ferguson in his prime? Definitely Habib, but Ferguson was in Habib's head. I'll say that. Ferguson won the stare downs. Ferguson won the mental warfare battles. So he won 2 out of the big 3. The third being the fight. Maybe he wouldn't have won that, but Ferguson would have won everything else. Ferguson would have won the fan support. Professional vegan Mogger. When are you going back to your roid days? Well, I've never taken roids, so probably never. I don't know. I just don't really have any desire to get on sauce. I'm not interested in it. I'm pretty content with the mass that I have. I just want to get lean. Right now, my goal is just to get really lean, like extremely shredded. That's my goal right now. I'm trying to lose a bunch of weight. I don't need to lose weight. I just want to get lean. It's a good goal to have. Thank you for the $2. Bro, skip my last 2 donos. I'm on it. Thank you. Thank you for the $2, Mr. Smile. Not gonna lie, if it would be the exact same resume, legacy, but it wouldn't be Izzy, Lucas would never. That's not true at all. That's not true at all. Read my last dono, by the way. Mr. Smile, thank you. Lucas talking about Izzy close fights like they're 100% robberies when they're close, but talks about Volk versus Max 2 and acts like it was 100% clearly not. Okay. You know what? There is something truthful to that. That is pretty funny. This guy's saying, when I talk about Izzy robberies, it's like 100%, non-negotiable. A Volkanovski Max 2 robbery, not even a discussion. 100% the right call. Nah, but like Volkan Max 2 is not a robbery. Like, I'm not just being biased because of that, but I do think that's funny. I would like to do a robbery series. I know the Weasel has one. But maybe what we could do to kind of make it more interesting and more relevant, because it'd be difficult to do like a robbery tier list. I was thinking about doing a robbery tier list yesterday, but then I was like, wait a second. That's going to be like an hour-long video because I'm going to have to explain why it was a robbery for multiple fights. And I was thinking from the perspective of someone that's watching or listening to the video, that could be a little bit slow if they've never seen the fight because they just don't understand the context. So what I will do instead is from now on, whenever there's a big fight, like a big main event or maybe like a big title fight, what I can do is if there's a famous robbery with one of the fighters that's going to be in the upcoming main event, then I can break it down. You know what I mean? Like if Cyril Gane is fighting, I'll do when Cyril Gane should have been crowned champ against Francis Ngannou, and I'll break that down, and I'll do a very in-depth breakdown of the, round in question. So that's what I'm going to do. For Adesanya, I'll do Adesanya's 3 title losses that actually would destroy his legacy if, the judges got the right call. For Izzy, I'll do like the Yoel Romero one, and I'll do the Robert Whittaker one. I can do those. I'll do one or the other. Probably both. I'll probably do both. Is there anything for UFC 303? We have Yuri. Yuri's not been in any robberies. Every fight of his has gone to a finish. Pereira has not been in any robberies. I don't know. Is there anyone on 303 that has had a controversial fight? Whittaker. Wait a second. Whittaker, though. Yo, I could actually do it for Whittaker tomorrow. I could do when Robert Whittaker should have been crowned 2-time champ. Yeah, I could do that shit. Let's go, bro. Should I do it? Should I do it for Whittaker? I'll do a video today about something else, but I can do that for Whittaker tomorrow since it's actually relevant, and it'll actually hype up Whittaker's fight a little bit because not a lot of people are talking about Whittaker's fight, unfortunately. Maybe I should do it. Thank you for the $2. My favorite shirt. Thoughts on DDP kissing his coach on the mouth? It's a cultural thing, bro. I don't know. I mean, listen, I don't understand it. I've heard that it's not really a South African culture thing. Maybe it's just a gym culture thing. It is a little bit strange. It is it's pretty strange. I mean, in cultures where guys kiss each other when greeting each other, like in Brazil, I think they'll kiss each other on the cheek or something like that. That's one thing, but kissing each other on the mouth, I don't know. I don't think that is a cultural thing in South Africa. I'm fine with Romero, but Whittaker too, nah. 50-50. I can break it down. I could do a robbery series. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll do a robbery series. When Romero destroyed Whitaker, well, that was a draw. Corvo. But yeah, I really was calling for Yoel Romero to win that fight, though. I was like, dude, we're gonna go back to Yoel's hospital bed post to hear what he had to say, because I remember how pissed off I was when he lost that fight. Joey thinks Costa beat Sean. He hates Sean. Yeah. Joey, listen, I like MMA Joey, but I think that Costa arguably won the 5th round, and I think that Costa did a lot better than people like to think on the scorecards, but he did not win that fight. He definitely didn't win that. He obviously doesn't like Sean Strickland. Like, there's no debate about that. And I've heard that MMA Joey doesn't even give Dominic Reyes the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the Jones fight. That is an issue. Like, I don't understand how you can... Listen, I like MMA Joey, and I think his content's all right. I think it's good. But why is it so hard to just accept when there are robberies? You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be hard to accept when there's a robbery. Everyone thinks that the Jones-Reyes fight was a robbery unless you're either a Jones fanboy with the blindfolded delusion on, or you're just too stubborn to admit that the decision is not the right one. And, you know, we shouldn't just always appeal to the authority of the judges. It's very rare that the entire MMA fan base is wrong. Like, isn't it weird how the entire MMA fan base was like, Reyes won that fight, but the three judges unanimously scored it for John Jones? Like, what is that? Doesn't make any sense. They probably just didn't want Jones to lose in an anticlimactic way, because that's probably what it would have been like. That's what I thought before they raised Reyes' hand. Before they were going to raise Reyes' hand, in my mind, I was like, wow, holy shit, we actually just saw John Jones lose for the first time. Holy fuck. Not necessarily the, climactic way I would have expected. I would have expected like a big KO, but it was just a regular decision loss for Jones. Wow. And then they fucked him over. Yeah. Lucas, how do I get my lips supple like yours? All right. Thank you for the $5. Smile and wave, man. You just got to smile and wave. All right. Thank you for the $2. Kendrick, Jones versus Reyes or Patty versus Gordon, which was worse? I'll say Jones versus Reyes was worse because that was a title fight, but there was a lot on the line, and Reyes' hand, like, if it got raised, it would have been one of the biggest wins in UFC history. Whereas Patty versus Gordon, the stakes weren't that high, and I still think one of those middle rounds was sort of close. And 3 rounds to 2 is a lot easier than 2 rounds to 1. I mean, I don't know. Patty definitely lost to Gordon. Both of them were bad robberies, but like, we saw Reyes win 3 rounds in a row. I forget the round in which Patty may have edged out. You know what I mean? But no one forgets the rounds that Reyes won. It was very clear. Like, Reyes won the first 3. Both of them were bad. Thank you for the £1 combat. I appreciate that. Ali, 3-time champ, is different than Izzy. Ali, 3-time champ, is different than Izzy. You got to explain that one to me. I'm a Muhammad Ali hardcore fan, but I got to hear what you're saying on that one. I got to hear your take. Kind of break that one down for me a little bit more. Goofy take. Thank you for the 8 months membership. Not a goofy take, dude. Not a goofy take. Every single fight, this is literally just his second rematch. Dude, stop yapping. Dustin fought for the belt 3 times and couldn't win. Yeah, but Dustin had to get wins as a contender. This will be impressive. I'm not going to sit here and say Izzy winning against Dricus is not impressive. Izzy winning a fight against a guy as good as Alex Pereira, Izzy winning a fight against a guy as good as Dricus is always going to be impressive. Like, I do think it's impressive to win a title fight all the time. But they're saying 3-time champ as if it's as simple as just 3 title wins. But the 3 title wins people aren't just hyping up every single title win that Adesanya has. They're hyping up the times he has won the belt when he's been a contender, which means that required him to lose the belt, not be dominant enough to maintain it. But they're out here saying the only middleweight 3-time champion. So we're really hyping up a guy for being the only something when it means that he couldn't have actually been dominant. You get what I mean? When it also means that he didn't have to earn it after he lost. Listen, I think that winning a title is always impressive. But when you say 3-time champ in another sport, it means that you won the title 3 times. If you say 3-time champ in MMA, it should just mean 3 title wins, right? Why aren't Adesanya fans just saying 7 title wins? That's what they should be saying. If I'm an Adesanya fan, I'm just going to say like 8 title wins. That's what I'm going to be saying. Maybe this is his 8th if he wins against Dricus. You're going to sit here and say 8 title wins. They should be hyping that up. None of this 3-time champ BS. Because the thing is, they're only saying it because he's the only one to do it at middleweight, which means like he's been given the title shot over and over and over again. Happy Juneteenth, my brothers in arms. Happy Juneteenth, but it's no longer Juneteenth even. It's the 20th, my guy. I literally didn't even know what Juneteenth was until yesterday. I had no idea. I thought it was something completely different, dude. I honestly thought it was something completely different. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Bro, you're completely off the mark. Oh, man. This is him. This is the guy. KennyOkoyeMMA. No, dude. Yo, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it, but I'm cooking you in the debate. I'm just going to let you know I'm going to cook you in the debate. Okay? Listen. Kenny, this is my main argument. And I'm going to just sum it up extremely fast because I've said it a million times. People saying 3-time champ, they're saying it with the same energy as they would say like LeBron James is a 4-time champ in basketball. Like this guy's won the MVP 3 times in a row in baseball. But they should be saying 7-time champion for Adesanya because he's actually won like 7 titles. If he wins this one, this will be his 7th title win. Why aren't you guys saying 7-time champ? You're only saying 3-time champ because he would be the only person to win the belt as a contender 3 times. Why would he win the belt as a contender 3 times? Because he's losing the belt, because he's not dominant enough to keep it, and because he's being given unlimited title shots without having to earn it. If you take any other like top 2, top 3 contender in any division and you give them unlimited title fights, eventually they're going to win that belt a few times, you know? Like all it means, like they're saying 3-time champ as if like, you know, it's like baseball, 3-time World Series champion. Like, but Volkanovski has 6 title wins. Where are the people saying 6-time champ, 6-time champ? It's because they want Izzy to be the only one to do something like this. But in order for Izzy to be the only one to do something like this, he has to fail a bunch of times and get a quick, easy shot back to the title. All right? I just cooked you. Thank you for the $5. Strike. Would you rather Volk never win another title or become a 2-time champ? Listen. This is the thing. Like, I'm not going to sit here and deny that becoming a champion is not impressive. Of course. But those aren't the only 2 options. Yes, I would much rather Volkanovski become a 2-time champ. But you know what? That doesn't even make any sense. He wouldn't be a 2-time champ. He wouldn't become a 2-time champ. If Volkanovski were to beat Topuria again, that would be 7-time champ. All right? When you say something ex-champion, that means that's how many title wins they have. Adesanya has 7 title wins. He's a 7-time champ, not a 3-time champ. If you're sitting here flexing 3-time champ, all that means is that, well, he's lost the belt and we got to hype that up somehow, right? Volkanovski wouldn't be a 2-time champ because I don't have to cope. I don't have to sit here and try to hype up him losing the belt and winning it back. Like, okay, he lost the belt. It'd be impressive for him to get it back. But guess what would have been more impressive? Never losing it. Volkanovski, if he were to become a champion again, that would be his 7th title win. Therefore, that's 7-time champion, not 2-time champion. I'm done with the 3-time champ. I'm done with it. Izzy is never going to be a 3-time champ because he's won more titles than that. All right? And that means he's not the only one. That's the thing. They just want him to be the only one. I'm telling you guys, you know, you should freaking get me to collab with Volk because I'm cooking these Adesanya fans. Kenny, this ain't what you want. Lucas undefeated. Yeah, I'm undefeated in Adesanya debates. No one's ever beat me in an Adesanya debate or Volkanovski debate. Thank you for the $5. If you think about it, Izzy is a 4-time champ. Well, you know, if you really want to be technical about it, he lost to Romero and he lost to Whitaker. So, yeah. Yeah, yeah, you're right. He should already be a 3-time champ. Let's run around. I don't have a Discord. I don't have a Discord. I don't have a Discord, bro. I don't have a Discord. Should we get him on? Should we get him on, guys? Maybe we can debate this guy right now. But I don't want it to be too long. I don't want it to be too long, but I'm telling you, like, yo, I'll just I'm easily winning that. I'm easily winning that. Bring the heat. Thank you for the $16.99. Bro, shut up. If Conor slept Chandler, you would have been fine with him getting a shot at welterweight or lightweight. Conor's a different circumstance. That would mean Conor would have to get a win as a contender. So that's different. How is that the same? How on earth is that the exact same as this? First of all, I'm happy that Adesanya is fighting DDP. I want to see it. It's undeserved, but I do want to see it. I'm totally okay with it. Conor beating Michael Chandler is Conor beating a contender as the biggest star in the entire sport. I'm okay with the UFC making exceptions. I'm not a 100% purist when it comes to like every single title shot has to be given to the guy that has earned it based on 100% merit and nothing else, and merit being determined by how many ranked wins they have in the last year or so. I'm okay with Conor getting the title again. Like him or not, Izzy draws numbers with DDP, and that's what matters. I'm happy that Izzy is getting the title shot. Like, I want to see that fight more than I want to see the Strickland fight. I think Strickland deserves it based on merit, but I would rather see Izzy fight for the title, and it's not the least deserved title shot. I'm just kind of clowning the 3-time champion thing because I think it's a bit disingenuous, to be honest. I think it's a bit disingenuous. Lucas is a minus. Lucas is a minus 1,200 favorite. If this guy's still in here, Kenny, if you're still in here, I could give you the link to join. But that means you got to be ready to hop on right now. You got to be ready to join the debate. This is just going to be one-off, guys. I'm not going to turn the whole stream into a debate, but people have been wanting me to debate this guy. Okay, fine. We'll do it. Here's the link. Thank you for the $5 strike. All I'm saying is Adesanya has been put to sleep in back-to-back title fights and never loses title fights as a contender. That's great. That's great. It doesn't, listen, I've said this before. I'd rather my favorite fighter get slept out with one punch than get beat by a decision. Getting beat in multiple rounds is worse than getting punched once. Longevity-wise, getting knocked out is worse. Skill-wise, how you look as like a solid, skillful mixed martial artist, I think it's better to get knocked out with one punch of your Volk than to get beat by decision if you're Adesanya. Especially if you're getting outstruck. Especially if you're getting outstruck. Well, I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I'll do a poll. I'll do a poll. Okay. Would you rather your favorite fighter get shut down via... It's a little bit different for who your favorite fighter is. If your favorite fighter is Yuri, I think it's better that he gets shut down by decision. If your favorite fighter is like one of the all-time GOATs, like skill-wise really good, then you'd probably rather them get KO'd. I think we should clarify it as your favorite striker. Your favorite striker. That's actually a good poll. All right, we got him. All right. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. You're muted though.
All right.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, bro. What are we talking about?
All right, so You got to debate me. So I don't know what your argument is. I don't know what your debate is, but I'll hear it from you. I mean, my stance is pretty clear. I think Adesanya is the most overrated striker in UFC history, and I think that the okay, this guy.
Hold on, my bad. Let me just hold my phone. All right, go ahead.
UFC history, and I think that the 3-time champ shit is disingenuous. I think people are only hyping that up because they're trying to grasp at straws for a way to hype up someone failing to defend a belt and getting it back, whereas you should just be saying he's a 7-time champ. Because at the end of the day, like, how many title wins does he have? 3? 2? 8. Okay. Oh, you're counting the Gastelum one. He's counting the Gastelum one.
Hey, Robert Whittaker, it wasn't Eddie's fault that Robert Whittaker was hurt. But let me just stop you right there because you said something about he's the most overrated striker. What kind of delusion is that? Where does that stem from? The most overrated striker? The guy who knocked out Robert Whittaker. Paulo Costa riding his undefeated win streak in the UFC. Then Alex Pereira, one of the best kickboxers of all time. Where's this narrative coming from that he's an overrated striker? He's the best striker to touch the sport. He's beating all the best strikers in the weight class by knockout. What are you talking about?
Definitely not. Okay, well, hold on. So he's the best striker to ever touch the sport. Yep. Then explain him getting outstruck like 4 or 5 times.
Okay, well,
because hold on. I'd rather my favorite fighter is Volk. Volk is one of my favorite fighters. Volkanovski, even against Topuria, when he loses, he's slowly, they're having a close battle, but Volk's never getting outstruck. Volk's never getting shut down via the striking.
Did you watch the second Holloway fight? You thought he was?
Yeah, he won the last 3 rounds.
But
he was down. He was down 2 rounds. He came in the clutch.
Okay, well, listen, we're talking about striking. We're talking about striking. You thought his striking was better because last I remembered, he had to mix in takedowns to even get anything going for that fight to make it.
That's melatonin gate. Volk he got woken up by USADA in the middle of the night.
This guy's funny, bro. Yo,
literally woken up in the middle of the night.
Bro, you're glazed,
woken up in the middle of the night by USADA. His chin was iffy that night. But hold on. Let me just explain this. Izzy is objectively not the best striker in the sport.
Wow.
He's never been. Because he got outstruck by Jan Blachowicz, shut down rounds 1, rounds 2, rounds 3. Izzy got outstruck by Alex Pereira in the first fight. He got outboxed by Robert Whittaker with a reach advantage in their second fight. And he got knocked the fuck out by Alex Pereira.
You're saying things that aren't true. You're lying. In the first fight, he was embarrassing Pereira on the feet and on the ground.
No, that's a lazy take. That's a lazy take.
He only won the second round. What other fight? What round?
No, I agree with you. I agree that he only won the second round. But when you say outstruck, let's talk about that.
Let's talk.
The third round, Izzy won with the grappling, but he was getting outstruck in the beginning of the round.
What about rounds 1 and rounds 4 for that?
Round 1, it was close, and Izzy won that with the big moment. Round 4, Izzy outstruck him. I'm with you. So those 2 rounds, you're good.
What is this misconception that he's outstriking Izzy? You're making stuff
So
up.
let me prove my point. So Izzy outstruck him in round 1 and round 4. What happened in round 2? Alex won. Round 3, Alex outstruck him until the grappling. Round 5, it was so dominant.
Hold on.
It was so dominant.
Where did that happen?
Mark Goddard had to step in to save him.
Where did that happen in round 3? You outstruck him. You're making up stuff. First of all, Pereira was the one who initiated.
Before they went to the ground.
Listen, Izzy was piecing him up. Pereira initiated the striking, got reversed because he's a lazy wrestler and he sucks at wrestling. He has no balance. So Izzy reversed him, controlled him. Alex Pereira shot for it first and got embarrassed.
Yeah, but the battle between Izzy and Pereira is never about the ground game. I mean, that's Izzy's a better, well-rounded mixed martial artist in that round.
Yeah, he is.
That's MMA. But when it comes to the pure striking, Adesanya was getting outstruck in the beginning of that round.
He wasn't.
He was, though.
The reason
he literally was. You can literally tally up the strikes. He was literally getting outstruck in the beginning of that round.
And it's funny you're talking about striking this because even if you go back to kickboxing, every single kickboxing fight, Izzy was up on points. He was outlanding him. What won him the fights? The first fight was a robbery. You both know it. We both know it, but you're not going to admit it. And I understand that. But you can say whatever you want.
It don't even matter to me.
Okay, and then the second kickboxing fight, he was piecing him up until the knockout. He had a standing 8 count. So you're trying to paint the narrative that he's a better striker. Just say Alex Pereira has more power and Izzy's the better striker, then I'll agree with you. There's difference in that.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
He won one round on Izzy on the scorecard in the UFC, and it was round 2 of UFC 281. Other than that, he won that round and knocked him out.
What happened in round 5?
That's it. That's what I'm saying.
What happened in round 5?
They fought 7 rounds. How many UFC? How much he win? 2. This guy's nothing, bro. He's just powerful.
What happened in round 5?
He just has hand power. Skill versus
hand power. Okay, hold on. Let me break down round 5.
Break it down,
Adesanya threw a kick. It got checked, and he fell over himself. Alex Pereira backed him down up against the fence and beat the fuck out of him. Yes, it was a bit of an early stoppage, but the difference in striking in that round was so utterly dominant. Alex Pereira had like a 20-second moment where he was just teeing off on him up against the fence, checking his kicks, bulldozing him the whole round. You're talking about rounds 1? You're talking about rounds freaking 4? Bro, what about round 5 where it was such an outclassing that the ref had to step in? You're saying that, hold on. You're saying that was one big punch? It was an early stoppage. That means it couldn't have been one big punch. That was a whole freaking army of punches that Izzy couldn't even fucking deal with.
You're misunderstanding my narrative that I was playing. I said Izzy's the more skilled striker, and Alex Pereira is the more powerful striker. And I'm using this round because they fought 13 rounds total. Izzy has won 8. In the UFC, they fought 7. Izzy has won 2. Pereira has won 2. So if you look at the fights and you're actually watching from a non-biased point of view, you know Izzy's a better striker than him. But what Alex Pereira has that Izzy seems to have been lacking until the last fight was the power advantage. And Izzy doesn't have a bad chin necessarily, but he did get caught. I'm not saying it was one punch, but Alex Pereira has power indefinitely. You can see it in multiple of his fights. He uses power to win fights. Even against Yuri Prochazka, he was down in the scorecard. Something he has is an equalizer, and it's hard for people to keep up with. But the only person who gave him competitive fights on the feet is Israel Adesanya because he's the superior striker. But Alex Pereira has a power advantage, and I'll give you that. I'll give you to that. But you're not proving to me that he's a better striker in any way other than saying he had this good round where he caught him with a left hook and he tripped over his legs. And bro, I don't care.
Tripped over his legs. Striker. He got his leg kick checked. He fell because of the pain.
Bro, no, if you look at the footage, you'll see his left leg wrap over his right ankle, and then he tripped backwards and fell. And that's what started the whole thing.
Hold on. Let me just say this. The only one to have a competitive fight with Pereira on the feet. What about Jan Blachowicz, the guy that literally beat Izzy? Let's remember that Jan Blachowicz outstruck Adesanya. It's not the wrestling. He literally outstruck Adesanya, made him miss, made him look like a fool. Jan Blachowicz with his big, ugly low kicks, with that old man style. The hunchback in Notre Dame made that flashy striker, your favorite fighter, swing and miss all night. Okay? He had a close fight with Alex Pereira too. So right off the bat, he's not the only one to give Pereira a competitive fight on the feet. Alex Pereira, you can talk about power advantage all you want. That is true. I agree with that. That is a part of his skill set.
Thank you.
He outstruck Izzy in the 5th round of their first fight. That is a round. No, we're not just gonna say 5th round doesn't count. It was a big, nasty, ugly. It was a big, nasty, ugly punch. It was a stupid punch from Pereira. No, it was a freaking skillful dismantling. Round 2. No, I'm not. Round 2, he outstruck Izzy. So even according to you, where we shouldn't count the 3rd round striking, even though Pereira outstruck him in the 3rd before the grappling, they're only 2-2 in that fight.
Oh my!
Izzy round 1, Izzy round 4, Pereira round 2, Pereira round 5. I'm giving Pereira the win because round 5 was way more dominant than the other rounds.
Okay, this is the thing, Lucas. You like to say opinions and base them off of fact. You said I'm giving it 2-2. I don't really care what you give. It wasn't 2-2 going to that 5th. It was 3-1 Izzy, and you could cope with
3-1 because Izzy was mixing in the grappling. It's more nuanced than just striking. They weren't just in a kickboxing battle.
Stop bringing it up. I countered you. You said Izzy initiated the grappling. No, Alex Pereira didn't got reversed. You got countered. You got cooked. Moving on to the next point about Jan Blachowicz, the guy who weighed when Israel Adesanya weighs 199 pounds going into a light.
Oh, that's such BS. And then Izzy freaking cut weight on purpose.
Bro, stop.
Izzy cut weight on purpose to make it him seem like he was in more of a freaking David and Goliath matchup.
Stop. You sound like every other just goofball, bro. He didn't do it on purpose. Like, stop trying to make with these conspiracy theories in your head. They're not
Adesanya walks around at like over 215 pounds in the offseason, bro.
Bro, you don't know Izzy personally. Has he told you this? I've seen so many different things.
This guy's acting like he knows Adesanya personally.
Look at you, bro.
Because he has a freaking bobblehead of Izzy.
All right, buddy. So
hold on.
No, let me cook you.
Wait, 1 second.
You know
let me just shut that. Let me just cook you real quick. Adesanya posted ESPN MMA and all the big MMA outlets before the Pereira 1 fight because everyone was talking about how big Pereira was.
I saw that. I know what you're talking about.
They posted Adesanya's weight. The dude was like 223 pounds.
Okay,
he walks around in the high 200s or low 200s. Yes, he's not 199, dude. He freaking he was trying to prove a point.
Listen, brother, you're not listening. Some people walk around heavy. People like Max Holloway walk around very heavy. They could easily make 155 in your opinion. But when they're in fight shape in their fight camp, their body is gonna react differently than you think. That's why.
Then how come Adesanya always weighs in at like 204? How come? Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Let me just say this. So you're telling me Jan Blachowicz made Adesanya miss punches as the lighter man with the faster speed because he was heavier than him? You're telling me Jan Blachowicz checked Adesanya's leg kicks and shut his leg kick game down because he was heavier? The grappling, I'll give it to you. I'll give you that the grappling definitely was affected by the weight of Blachowicz. The first 3 rounds, Jan Blachowicz, with his simple striking, shut him down. You
Okay.
cannot have so many examples of Adesanya getting
Let me cook
outstruck,
you real quick.
having close
Because
battles.
people like you, Lucas, you like to play both sides. Like when it's about
What?
Islam. If
How
it's
am I
like
playing
Islam,
both-
let me tell you something. Let me talk. If it's about like someone like Islam or Volk or Islam or Dustin, it's all about, oh, the takedown threat is this, the takedown threat is that. Not once have you mentioned takedown threat. Why? Is that a coincidence, or are you just not using your knowledge all of a sudden? You know the takedown threat was a thing. You know the weight
The
discrepancy was a thing.
takedown
Half the
threat.
time,
People
when
were
half the
hardly
time,
talking about the
Jan
threat of the
Blachowicz-
takedown going into that fight.
Yeah.
Jan Blachowicz was coming off
What?
of Jan Blachowicz was coming off of 3 KOs in a row. Dominic Reyes,
So what?
Luke Rockhold. He was coming off of a bunch
What
of
does this
KOs.
mean?
Corey
So are you
Anderson.
trying to say- are you
People
trying to
were
say
talking about that fight as Izzy's either going to outclass him or Jan Blachowicz is going to knock him out with a big ugly
No,
swing.
that was not the narrative. Why are you making
Yes,
up
it was.
narratives?
That was the
Everyone
narrative
knew
going
y'all
into
was
that
gonna go
fight.
into wrestling.
That was the narrative.
They knew you were going to go into
Jan
wrestling.
Blachowicz
Look at how
instead.
you're playing to the tune. Look how you're playing
No,
to these
I'm not
different
playing
things.
to the
You're
fucking
picking
tune.
sides, Lucas.
No,
You pick
Jan
sides,
Blachowicz,
buddy.
dude, Jan Blachowicz
Pick
was a
sides.
knockout guy going into that fight. He was KOing people.
Bro, Jan Blachowicz has always been the type to mix in his wrestling with every single fight. What are you talking about? Why are you trying to make it like
Jan
he's a primary
Blachowicz didn't
striker?
shoot a takedown until like midway through the 3rd round. It got stuffed.
Bro, you're lying. That's not even true.
Yes, he did. He didn't
Yo,
even shoot a takedown in the
you don't
first
have
round. He didn't
fact
shoot a
checkers in
takedown in the
here?
2nd round. Okay,
You just
fuck
said
the
third
threat of
round,
the
now you're back
takedown.
like the second round, and that was gonna be first round.
Fuck the threat of the takedown. Jan
Buddy.
Blachowicz shut his ass down
threat of the
and made him
takedown.
look like light work on the feet.
Yeah, because threat of the takedown. He barely.
Not,
he has like
okay,
the-
you
he
can
has
say
like
threat of the
feet
takedown all you want. He still made him miss and still outclassed him with freaking nice,
Buddy, yes,
crispy
like I
leg
said,
kick defense.
You're bringing up, like I said, you're bringing up a guy who was severely underweighted, undersized for that weight
Okay,
class at
let's
the
talk
time.
about
What-
Cannonier. Cannonier gave Izzy a freaking extremely close fight, but I've seen
What are
people
you
freaking
talking
dominate
about?
Cannonier.
Are you trolling? Are you trolling right now? Be
It was
honest.
48-47. It was a stink
Internet-
fest. It was one of the worst fights I've ever
Bro,
seen.
you are the-
Adesanya
you are- yo,
got
you're one of
outstruck
those
by
people
Robert
who just-
Whittaker. Let's talk about the Strickland fight. Let's talk about the Strickland fight. Adesanya couldn't graze Sean Strickland. All right? I've seen Alex Pereira chin him easily. I've seen DDP freaking light him up in the later rounds. Adesanya is a great striker. He's never even been close to the best. He's had too many moments where it's not been dominant.
Okay, so-
if you're the best striker in the world, you need to be schooling Jared Cannonier. You need to be schooling Marvin Vettori when Jared Cannonier is setting a strike record on him.
45 Marvin Vettori. What are you talking about? What are you even saying right now?
He
50-45
50-45 them,
Vettori.
and I fell asleep in the 4th round.
Oh, look at you. Oh, now you fell asleep and didn't see it. He's 50-45 then, bro. Everyone is saying he's destroying that.
50-45s can be close. A 10-9 round can be close. That just means it's 5-10-9.
Bro, you're coping so.
I'm not coping at all. No. That was a good performance. But
Yeah.
Whittaker was more dominant. Cannonier was more dominant. When I'm thinking about the
hold
best
on.
striker
You're
in the
bringing up
sport,
Whittaker fight. You're bringing up Whittaker fight. He went 4 for 10 in takedowns and got outstruck in every single round. How did he win that fight? Explain.
which one? The second one?
The second one that you're saying was a robbery. How did he win if he got outstruck every single round and went 4 out of 10 in takedowns?
Well, first off, I think that saying he got outstruck in every single round, you're looking at the stats, and I'm just gonna say this.
What stats?
We're not even gonna talk. Hold on. I've literally reviewed stats after UFC fights, and they've been all out of whack. And I'm it's not even when I'm being biased. When I want to be biased, there have
Guy
been
goes off
times where
opinion.
the fighter that I wanted to win was given, the strike advantage in the stats, and it's actually totally wrong. The stats are wrong.
God.
The stats
This
aren't
is the
necessarily the only thing you can go
laser
off
over
of.
here, bro. Like, bro, listen, Lucas.
He got outstruck.
Lucas, you love to go off opinion and what you think in your head. You hate facts because facts is what destroys you. And I'm
What
destroying you with
facts
facts.
are you bringing up? The stats?
Yeah,
Stats are
bro.
not facts. The stats, they fuck up the stats.
What are facts for you in a UFC fight? What Lucas Tracy thinks, or is it actually facts?
The
Like, what are
stats,
facts to you?
okay, the facts for me are watching the fight and tallying up exactly what's happening, seeing it with my own
No,
eyes.
what Lucas Tracy thinks. Okay, that's all
No,
you have to say.
but the judges and the freaking stats, the judges can get it wrong. Wait, hold on. Let me just say this. Are you denying that there aren't robberies in MMA? The judges can
Brother,
get it
of
wrong.
course I know the robberies, but you're saying a fight where he clearly beat the brakes out of him, dropped him in the first round, made him look goofy, went 4 for 10 in takedowns, stuffed over half his takedowns is a robbery because you're coping. Just say you're coping and move on, brother. We can do this. Just say I'm Lucas Tracy and I'm coping. Just say it, brother. Say it. Be proud. Be a proud coach. Do it, brother. Say it.
No, because
bro.
I've watched the fight. I watched it this week. Robert Whittaker, and I'll tell you why he won that fight. I'll tell you
Let
why
it
he
go.
won.
Let it go.
I'll tell you why he won. Yes, Izzy won the first round and he dropped him badly. I will give you that, and he definitely won that round. Round 2, round 4, round 5. Adesanya. This is the issue with Izzy. Whittaker was doing well. He was landing shots to the head. He was popping Adesanya's head back with the jabs, with the lead hooks. He was outboxing him. Adesanya was doing fuck all in those rounds. That's why he lost those fights. Adesanya didn't do enough. You can't just say, well, Whitaker only landed a couple shots. I guess we got to give it to Izzy. What did Izzy do? Tell me what Izzy did in the second round, the third, the fourth, and the fifth to win.
Kicks,
and don't just say the stats, because the stats are wrong.
I'm not checking those. I don't care about. I didn't even know that. I just know because I watched that fight many times, and people say it's a.
So what did Izzy do? What did Izzy do?
Low kick, body kick, feinting into the jabs.
Feinting? This motherfucker bringing up feints.
I mean, it had Robert Whitaker like this on the cage every single feint.
That's not a strike. You can't count that as a strike.
Off his feint, bro.
You can't count that as a strike. Adesanya didn't do enough in those rounds. He got outstruck. He got outboxed. He got outdamaged.
Mindset, just based on your mindset, buddy. You know you're coping.
He got outstruck.
You're cope so bad.
No, you're trying to convince yourself that you're right, but I've watched that fight to convince myself that 4 or 5 times.
Everyone had.
Okay, let me just say this.
I'm right.
Hold on. Hold on. The one thing I just want to say is this. You say that Adesanya is the best striker to ever touch the sport.
Yeah.
Even if you were going to make an argument that he's like top 5 best strikers in the sport, let me just annihilate that argument real quick.
You can't.
Adesanya, when he hasn't knocked someone out in the first 2 rounds, when Adesanya hasn't KO'd anyone, he has never in his entire career, outside of maybe one fight when he was a contender, he has never in his entire career destroyed someone over the course of 5 rounds and styled on them over the course of 5 rounds and made it look dominant. Brad Tavares? Yeah, that's one fight, and he didn't even dominate him that badly. That was actually sort of... Now, hold on. Brad Tavares was sort of in there. Volkanovski. Hold on. Volkanovski has annihilated people in 5 rounders. Max Holloway has annihilated people in 5 rounders. Wonderboy Thompson has annihilated people in 5 rounders.
Ooh.
I consider the best strikers to be the people that don't need a knockout to make it look spectacular.
Okay.
When Adesanya doesn't get a KO, he either stinks it up to a decision where people are falling to sleep, or he loses.
Okay.
Or he's been outstruck by Jan Blachowicz, or he loses. You cannot be the best striker in the sport if you are incapable of putting on a dominant masterclass striking showcase in a decision.
Okay, so now
there are too many fighters that have. There are too many fighters that have. I've seen Max Holloway style on people for 5 rounds. Izzy's never done that.
Okay.
Because guess what? When Izzy has had a 50-45, we've fallen asleep.
You speak for yourself. But anyways, let me just counter everything you just said because I like to cook you, bro. First of all, you try to talk about Brad Tavares, and you're like, oh, but I don't like that fact because you're right and you cooked me. You counted it. You can't do that. But let's talk about the fact that.
And also, Max is styling on strikers. Izzy's styling on Marvin Bum Vittori.
You're scared because you know I'm about to cook you, bro.
I just shut down the whole argument.
Lucas, you haven't because I haven't said my piece. Lucas, okay. To beat the best, you got to beat the best strikers. I don't care. You're naming Max Holloway. Yeah, great performances against Korean Zombie and some just mediocre strikers. The thing about
he's at featherweight. Who is Adesanya beat by decision and made it look impressive against? Marvin Vittori?
Let me say my point before you even try to talk. The thing about this is when you look at middleweights. If I told you to name the best strikers in middleweight history since 2015, you're going to name all the strikers that Izzy has put out on his feet and destroyed. You look at Robert Whitaker before that fight.
Who was 1-1 with Adesanya. Yep. Who he's had a close fight with. That just proved my point. When Izzy doesn't finish them, he's incapable of having a masterclass. Hold on. Izzy doesn't finish Whitaker. It goes 5 rounds. It's a slow fight, and it's an arguable robbery. Volk doesn't finish Max. It's a 50-45 dominant masterclass. Keep going,
That's not true. You didn't watch the second Max fight. But anyways, moving on to my point. Every time he's went against a good middleweight, he's finished them. These are good strikers. You could argue that, I don't think finishing a good striker is impressive, but I'm going to counter that by saying I think piecing up a striker from rounds 1 to the round you finish him is the best way to have a striking performance. If you look at Paulo Costa, look at the fight he just had with Yoel Romero before that fight compared to the fight that Izzy had with Romero, everyone was saying Paulo Costa's going to run through him, and they were trying to cope he's going to get destroyed. What happened in that fight? Chewed up his leg, waited for him to get impatient, came in, he destroyed him. What happened with Robert?
That was a great performance against Paulo Costa. Paulo ain't even that good. But keep going.
Good at striking. Robert Whitaker this, Robert Whitaker that. He went in every single time he blitzed. He was ate by a counter check hook every time. Let's talk about Alex Pereira. He has his numbers.
Let's just forget about the rematch.
It's 3-0. Oh, it's 3-0. Oh my goodness. Alex Pereira's the guy. He's so good. Izzy beat him in the first round, knocked him out in the second. You can say what you want. You can cope with how you want. But you know the truth of the situation.
Wait, did this guy just say beat him the first time, knocked him out the second? He lost the first fight. He lost. He lost the first fight.
You are coping, Lucas. You know you're coping because you know I'm right. And you know it hurts you that he's going to do it. The next thing to your boy DDP, he's going to embarrass that sloppy blitzing striker. He has a sloppy blitzing style. What happened when Izzy went against a sloppy blitzer? Ask Robert Whitaker. He went to sleep. DDP's next. And after he beats
Whitaker
him,
is a chinny fighter. Whitaker's chinny as fuck. He's not durable.
Yeah. And you're gonna say
Briggs Duplessis is about to beat Izzy with his Captain Underpants blitz.
Darren Till looking so shitty was beating the brakes out of your boy DDP, the best striker.
Darren Till is a better offensive striker than Adesanya. He's way better.
Okay, so I know
Darren Till can beat people up offensively. Adesanya offensively on the feet is a jab and a low kick merchant.
Who's the best striker Darren Till beat?
Best striker Darren Till beat?
Crickets.
Wonderboy Thompson.
Crickets.
Wonderboy Thompson.
Nate, is that the only one you can name? Because I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna make you look.
Is that the Wonderboy Thompson's one of the best strikers in UFC history. Wonderboy Thompson's way better than Adesanya. He knocked out Robert Whitaker too.
So who's the better striker, Alex Pereira or Wonderboy Thompson?
Who's a better striker? I would say it's close. I don't know. It's hard to choose. Maybe Wonderboy.
Open, bro. You know what?
But here's the thing about Wonderboy. Wonderboy has embarrassed good strikers like Jorge Masvidal, Vicente Luque, Kevin Holland. Like Wonderboy has consistently embarrassed people. Jeff Neal. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Name me one 5-round masterclass dominant decision from Adesanya on the feet. Vittori. And so you're telling me the Vittori and Adesanya fight is known as one of the best performances ever?
You said name a dominant performance. Now you're saying name a.
It was not dominant. It was a clear fight. It was a clear decision. It was a good win for Adesanya. It was not a dominant fight.
Kevin Gastelum versus Izzy, not fight of the year. You want to say name a good performance?
No, that's a great one, but that's not dominant. That's a war. I love that fight. That's a great one, but it's not a dominant.
When the 5th round started. Be honest. Did you watch the 5th round? You close your eyes.
I've seen Jared Cannonier set a striking record on the face of Marvin Vittori. I've seen Robert Whitaker have Marvin Vittori on his knees in the 3rd round, not knowing where the fuck he's at.
I just said Kelvin Gastelum.
But hold on. Every single fighter that Izzy has beat it by decision in like one of these little freaking clear fights, those guys have whooped up the guys that he's beating way better. Robert Whitaker did it way better. Jared Cannonier did it way better.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about the fighters he's knocked out like Alex Pereira. Who is beating Alex Pereira in the UFC?
Alex Pereira beat Izzy. Hold on. Alex Pereira beat Izzy. Every single guy you could say, all the best fighters that Izzy has beat, Pereira, Whitaker, which are great wins, he's lost to too. 1-1. That's like at the end of the day, Adesanya's never been a dominant champ. He's never been the best striker in the UFC. He's had too many stinky fights. Sorry, he's never been the best.
I can't believe you're actually this delusional. I always want to see if you're
this delusional.
You're crazy, brother. You're crazy.
This delusional. Bro,
you saying Robert Whitaker fight counts as a win on the resume? No, it does. Like, if that's not a win for Whitaker, he lost it.
Hold on. Judges can get fights wrong. If one judge has a fight 48-47, the other has a 50-45, that already means judges can't get it right. Judges don't agree with each other sometimes.
You're coping so bad it hurts.
Not coping. Not coping.
Real?
Adesanya didn't do enough. Sorry, he didn't win the Whitaker fight.
He didn't do enough in your mind, but everyone else is mad.
That's not even the point of the argument. That's not even the point of the argument. You can't be the best striker in the UFC if you're getting outstruck by Jan Blachowicz, Alex Pereira, Robert Whitaker. You're having a stinky fight with Jared Cannonier, and you're having a stinky fight with Marvin Vittori. You can't be the best striker.
So you just said you can't be the best striker if you get outstruck by.
He's not been dominant enough. Izzy's not been dominant enough. He's lost too many times. He's lost too many times against good strikers.
3 times in his career. What are you talking about? 2 times.
Yeah, and got outstruck. He got outstruck by Sean Strickland, shut down easily. He got shut down by Jan Blachowicz, and then he got shut down by Alex Pereira in the first fight.
He didn't get shut down.
It was a competitive fight. It was a competitive fight. It was a competitive fight until the 5th round, in which
you did not watch that fight. You did not watch that fight, bro. There's no way you watched it.
I remember every single freaking millisecond of that fight, dude.
I do. I watched that fight.
Nah, dude.
I watched that fight more than you.
Okay, but hold on. I understand that you're an Adesanya fan. I get it. And I'm an Adesanya fan too. He's one of my favorite fighters. But
yo, be quiet, bro. I see your you hate bro. Listen, bro. This is the thing with you, bro. You just don't like Adesanya so much that you start to give his opponents credit for things that just make 0 sense. It's okay.
No, I'll give Adesanya credit. I'll give Adesanya credit. I think that he did well in the Alex Pereira fights. He did well in the Pereira fights.
He destroyed Alex Pereira until Alex Pereira had the power advantage. That's it. That's what happened.
But wait, how is that possible when he got outstruck in the 2nd round? The 1st round was competitive too. The 3rd round, he got outstruck, and then he did. I'm giving him credit. He out-MMA'd Alex Pereira in the 3rd round. And the 4th round was Izzy's. I'll give him credit. And the 5th round was so dominant. It was such a masterclass from Pereira that the ref had to step in and save him. It was a pretty competitive fight. It was back and forth.
1-3-4.
I'm not coping. It's just a fact.
1-3-4, 281. Every kickboxing fight, Izzy was winning. Every single.
That's kickboxing. I don't even care about kickboxing.
Yeah,
I'm an MMA guy.
I know, fair enough. Okay, so I'm just saying that to say this: 7 rounds in the UFC, Pereira won 2. Do the math on that, and then see who's a better striker. That's all I'm gonna say. And I understand Pereira's a great, powerful striker, but other than that power, if he didn't have that power, he would never have beat Izzy a single time in his life. And you know this as much as I do. Just saying. So just know who the better skilled fighter is, know who the most skilled striker is, and know who the strongest striker is, and then we could agree there. And you know it's
okay.
true.
Well, what? Okay. Well, okay. So you're saying know who the most skilled fighter is. One guy got shut down by Sean Strickland and schooled.
Oh my God.
The other guy beat Sean Strickland by dominant KO. One guy got shut down by Jan Blachowicz and schooled. The other guy outstruck Jan Blachowicz.
Buddy, Jan Blachowicz, I'll be real.
So is he so much better? Is he so much better than the guy that beat the people that he couldn't come close to outstriking?
Okay, first, why are you acting like Izzy's not greater than this guy all time? The guy with 1 title defense. Stop dick riding, bro.
Adesanya's not even top 10. He's not a top 10 fighter.
Oh my God, this guy is the biggest. Yo, this guy's not real, dude. Yo, you're not real, bro. All right,
no, dude, I'm telling you, you can't have that many losses.
Yo, you're not real. There's no way you're a real person. All right, who's better? Okay, who's better, Pereira or Izzy? Let me just hear this so I can just cook you so bad and make you regret it.
Okay, so I'll give you an answer. Pereira's 1-1 with Izzy. So that's
who's greater all time? I don't care.
Okay, no, I'm gonna explain it. They're 1-1. Alex Pereira has a better ratio of wins to losses than Adesanya, and he beat Sean Strickland, and he beat Jan Blachowicz, who Adesanya lost to, and Alex Pereira became a double champ and defended the second belt when Adesanya couldn't do that. Also, Alex Pereira only has 1 loss in his entire UFC career. Adesanya has 4.
To his daddy. He has 3, but you just don't know. You don't understand.
Wait, to his daddy? Bro, Pereira beat Adesanya, if you don't remember, at UFC 281. He literally beat him. They're 1-1. Hold on. When it just comes to the rivalry between Izzy and Pereira, they're 1-1. I'm not saying Pereira pulled ahead, Izzy pulled ahead, but Pereira did beat the guys that Izzy couldn't. Let me show you why
Israel Adesanya is greater. I'm glad you said all those pointless points that mean nothing to me because you're trying to point out other fights and play MMA math. If he beat him and he beat him, it means he's better than him all the time because I don't give a shit about any of that you just said. But what I will tell you, that's a fact. What is 8 title wins? What's a 2-time middleweight champion? What's
title wins are not everything when some of them are robberies.
In the middleweight division. What's that to someone with someone with 5 title defenses compared to someone with 1? Stop trying to play this narrative.
It's not all title wins. It's not all title wins. Alex Pereira.
It has a lot to do with it. In the recent, let's not forget
Alex Pereira beat Jan Blachowicz without a title win on the line. Alex Pereira beat Sean Strickland without a title win on the line. Those are amazing wins that don't have to be title wins.
Exactly.
It's not all about title wins.
It's not all about title wins. Izzy had the better career, period. Who had the longer win streak? Who had the more title defenses? Who had all these other stuff? All you're bringing up is he beat the guy Izzy lost to, so he's better. That's the most absurd casual mind thing I ever heard in my life. Like, don't admit you're a casual right now in front of all your people, bro. Don't do this. Like, you gotta go.
What was the take that was casual? What was the take that was casual?
You said he's better than Adesanya all the time because he beat people Adesanya lost to. What kind of
That's not the only reason. I'm saying ratio of wins to losses. Alex Pereira's UFC record is like what, 8-1?
Okay, so want to talk about
but those wins are extremely high quality, and also he has a win over Adesanya. Who was
Alex Pereira's first win in the UFC?
His first win was over Andreas Michailidis.
Okay, so who is that?
He's a bum.
Okay, my point. And then who he fight after?
And who's same with every UFC fighter's first win for the most part.
About it? Who is Israel Adesanya's first win? Robert Wilkinson. Do you know what
Rob Wilkinson. PFL champ. Rob Wilkinson's fucking can, dude. Exactly, he's a can.
And after he's going to Victoria, who's still in the top middleweight right now, to Tavares, who's still a gatekeeper in the division today. We can talk about this. We went Derek Brunson, who had a decent fight against your boy who plays all the time, DDP.
Dude, I'm not denying Adesanya doesn't have great wins. I'm not denying Izzy doesn't have great wins. He's just not better than Pereira all time. Pereira's objectively better because he has less losses. He has a better ratio.
He was fast-tracked with the easy schedule. I just told you just named his resumes. The first 2 opponents.
He was fast-tracked and then proved that he was good enough to be fast-tracked after.
Just know, Khamzat was put in the same position, 3 fights in that title fight. After Ikram beats Whitaker, he should get a title fight too. Just because we can give him an Alex Pereira treatment, why not? It doesn't make sense. All I'm saying is, if we're gonna get
you're happy. You should be happy that they gave him that treatment because Adesanya was able to knock him out. That's a good win for Adesanya.
It's not about me being happy. My thing is, if you have 3 fights in a title fight, then you're gonna have a lot of accolades to your name. If you're a decent fighter, Khamzat would do the same thing. Shavkat would do the same thing. But if give any good fighter 3 fights in a title fight and watch how good they become. Just thank Izzy that he made.
Bro, if you gave Marvin Vettori 3 fights in the title fight, you'd get absolutely steamrolled against Dricus du Plessis. You're saying if you give anyone, dude, try giving like the average UFC fighter 3 wins.
Give any good fighter.
And hold on. Wait, you're forgetting. How did Pereira get the title fight? He beat who? Sean Strickland, who at the time wasn't that great. But guess what? The wins can age well. A win can age really well or it can age poorly. That
Listen,
win
you're basing
aged
off
well.
of that win. Listen to my point. You're basing off of that win of Sean Strickland at the time, who was Sean Strickland is not even better than Jared. Like, we're acting like Sean Strickland is some kind of crazy fight. The truth about Sean Strickland is the most overrated fighter on the planet right now because he beat a stylistic mismatch in Israel Adesanya. Someone who's on the back foot. When have you ever seen someone beat Sean Strickland on the back foot? You never have, because it never happened. Imavov lost. Izzy lost. All these bums with the back foot, they lose. But anyone with the front foot, Kamaru Usman, Santiago, EDS, Jared Cannonier, DDP, if you're winning on the front foot, you beat Sean Strickland. So yes, a stylistic mismatch made some people think Sean Strickland was the GOAT, but he's not. He's not that great.
I agree that Strickland's not the GOAT, but I'm just saying it is a good win. Like, Pereira beat him.
Mid-win at the time, especially mid-win.
But hold on. But you're saying at the time. For example, losses can age well or they can age poorly. For example,
right. I agree.
For example, Dominic Cruz Cody Garbrandt beating Dominic Cruz at the time was like, oh, it's an amazing win. And, no shame for Dominic Cruz to lose to this phenom. Looking back, Dominic Cruz hasn't done shit. I mean, Cody Garbrandt hasn't done anything. So losing to a guy like Cody Garbrandt, it's a bad look now. Cody Garbrandt has a horrible resume. It's a bad look. So my point is, people talk about, hold on. People talk about Sean Strickland and Alex Pereira, and they'll say things like Alex Pereira had a great win over Sean Strickland, who then went to become a champ. John Jones beats Glover Teixeira. At the time, it was a good win. Now, since Glover Teixeira wins a belt, it's an even better win. Wins can age well, they can age poorly.
Yes,
Volkanovski beats Max Holloway in the trilogy. That win was great at the time. It's even better now since Holloway is continuing to. So that's my point.
Yes. So
and hold on. Guess what? For your own sake, you rate Adesanya so highly. I mean, the fact that he beat Pereira and Pereira's doing all these great things, that makes Izzy's win even better.
I love it's a misconception that I don't like Alex Pereira. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. I love him. His fan base is delusional.
He loves Alex Pereira. I don't buy it.
You can look at be quiet, bro. You can look
at
Pereira.
What I'm scarred this man for life.
You glaze. The glaze you say, Alex Pereira is greater all time because he beat people, but all this glaze, it just doesn't make sense. What is good? Like, your GOAT list is probably just messed up. Like, you probably just
my GOAT list is actually objectively really well thought out. I'll tell you my top 5.
Go ahead.
My top 5. I have Jones, I have GSP, I have Volkanovski, I have Mighty Mouse, and I have Jose Aldo. I'll put Aldo at my 5 spot.
When you said Volkanovski,
Volk is at my 3 spot. Yeah.
Okay, well, Volk's wait.
Yeah, don't even get me started on Volk. You guys don't want to get me started on Volk because I have an argument. If you think if I shut you down in the Adesanya argument, you don't want to get started on Volk.
Bro, you didn't do shit in the Adesanya argument. All you said is Alex Pereira beat people. Adesanya beats him. He's better. I don't care about that weak ass argument. That did nothing for you at all. Lucas, I'll be real. You're good at saying Lucas Tracy opinions and running with your opinions, but you're not good at saying any factual evidence like I am. I'm bringing up facts and resume. You're bringing up
but your facts are also concerned based on what's on paper. But sometimes judges can get fights wrong.
No, I'm not only basing my stuff on judges. I base it off a 12-fight win streak, 2-time middleweight champion, 8 title wins, 5
a title win is not the end all be all. Who was it against?
I didn't
Guess
say
what?
it was.
Guess what? Hold on.
You ignored everything else I said. I just said 12. I said 12-fight win streak in middleweight. I said 2-time middleweight champion. I brought up the 8 title wins. I brought up the resume he had. Go from Kelvin Gastelum to Robert Whittaker, who was an undisputed champion at the time when they unified it. Bringing up the Alex Pereira knockout. Bringing up the Paulo Costa knockout at the time. All these great stuff, and you're saying, yeah, but the title championship fights don't mean anything. Who cares about championship fights? Nick, everyone does, bro.
No, championship fights are good, but the point that I'm making when I say they're not everything is, for example, again, when Alex Pereira beats Jan Blachowicz, it's not for a belt, but it's still a really good win. It's still as good as someone. It's better.
No.
Hold on.
No.
It is better than someone getting a title defense against someone like Marvin Vettori or some shit like that.
No, it's
and
not.
you know it.
No, it's not.
What?
At the time,
Whoa! At the time, Vettori beat Kevin Holland and only got a title fight because Robert Whittaker didn't want to fight injured. Wait. You're telling me, hold on.
Yo, you're funny.
Hold on. You're telling me that, for example, you're telling me that Volkanovski beating Jose Aldo when it wasn't for a title is not better than Max Holloway beating Frankie Edgar?
Yeah. Volkanovski being that washed Jose Aldo who lost to everyone.
Washed Aldo that was on a 2-fight win streak, and after that went on to kill people at bantamweight.
Oh my God, 2-fight is crazy. Bro, he lost every time after the knockout of Khan. He lost to any good competition. PDR wiped him. Max Holloway wiped him. Volkanovski wiped him. Any good contender's gonna beat him. What are you talking about?
Wait. So what did Aldo beat Marlon Vera? He beat Pedro Munoz. He beat Marlon Moraes. Not only that, but Aldo also beat Rob Font. So and guess what? He just beat who? He just beat a guy that was called the dark horse of his division. Aldo was not washed when he fought Volk. He was on a 2-fight win streak, and he was how old when he lost to Volk? Aldo was how old when he lost to Volk? He was 32 years old. That's not washed up, especially when he's going to an even harder division.
First of all, let me tell you something that you probably don't understand. Like, age is just a number, and it depends on how long of a career you had before that. He had a crazy run in WC. He was running through everyone. But after that, Conor knocked out.
You could say long. Okay, well, this is how I defeat that argument. Max Holloway was considered washed after the Volk trilogy. They were saying, well, he's been around for a minute. He's still young, but he's been around for a minute. Since then, he's dominated TKZ. He's beat Arnold Allen, and he freaking outclassed Justin Gaethje. So this whole 32 is washed for only Aldo. But how was he washed when he was on a 2-fight win streak, and after he lost to Volk, he went down to bantamweight and freaking mopped the floor with people?
Everyone beats TKZ. Stop glazing that win that Max Holloway overhead like it's a crazy prime TKZ. That's the most absurd line I've ever heard in my life.
No, I'm not acting like Max's TKZ win was amazing. I'm just saying you can't say Aldo was washed when he was only 32 years old.
Bro, yes, he was not. He never touched his prime again after Conor took his chin. You could try to cope with it all you want, but it's a fact. Because every time
just because Conor knocks him out doesn't mean all of a sudden he's not good anymore. How can you explain all the wins that Aldo has after that? Let me
explain. Because the best wins you named after that was Rob Font. That's the most talented win he had.
Rob Font, yeah, but these are bantamweights that are in the top 10. Rob Font, Pedro Munoz, Marlon Moraes, which was a robbery, and Aldo should have won that fight, and Marlon Vera. And Jonathan Martinez. And you have Jeremy Stevens and Renato Moicano. 7 wins.
Oh my God!
After he lost, 7 wins after he got knocked out by Holloway twice. 7 wins. That's pretty good. The only losses that he has after losing to Volkanovski are what? Peter Yan and Merab. That's it.
Bro, yes, good contenders, legit contenders. Do you not understand?
Yeah, and he did well against Yan until the later rounds. But my point is, Aldo was not washed.
Him up. What are you talking about? Did you watch the Yan fight? Yan was destroying that man. He almost killed him.
Aldo was competitive with Yan, and then after that went on a 3-fight win streak. He went on a 3-fight win streak after the Yan fight.
That fight. Yan was killing him. I was like,
I've watched that fight multiple times. It's one of my favorite fights of all time.
I couldn't watch the fight. I was looking at him get beat. I was like, I can't watch Aldo get destroyed like this.
No, Aldo was getting whooped in the 5th. It was a bad stoppage, and he got whooped in the later rounds.
He fell on his knees. That boy was done for.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that he went on a 3-fight win streak after that. Like, Aldo was legitimately doing well. He just looked amazing against Jonathan Martinez. He ain't even washed.
Yes, he could beat the gatekeeper.
Everyone talks about the 35 curse. Oh, well, no one's ever been able to win a title win at the age of 35 and whatnot. Jose Aldo lost all those fights to Volk, Max, and Conor in his late 20s and early 30s when it's not permissible to lose. You should not be that's not an excusable loss. You can't just say, well, he's washed the second he gets knocked out by Conor. That takes away from Max Holloway, takes away from Volk.
Yes, like I said,
and guess what?
Max
You're going to say, hold on, you can't say he's washed. Washed means he's done, he's toast.
He was out of his prime after getting knocked out by Conor. That's the words I said.
Okay, but you can well, even if you think he's out of his prime, it's still a good version of Aldo. You can't just sit here and tell me Aldo was trash, he wasn't even good. Like, Aldo still is good. Aldo is still capable of beating top 10 bantamweights.
I agree. Against mid-fighters, of course. Of course he's going to be
mid-fighters, these are ranked fighters. Bro, Jonathan Martinez is not a mid-fighter. He's not amazing. He's not like top 5 material, but he's not a mid-fighter. And neither was Pedro Munoz at the time. And Rob Font was probably at his peak.
Anthony Smith is ranked. Cheeto Vera is ranked. One of the most.
Yeah, but that's light heavyweight. That's light heavyweight.
Cheeto Vera is one of the most overrated fighters. He's ranked. Yair, one of the most.
Cheeto Vera still beats more than 80% of bantamweights.
Yeah, you lost your mind. He doesn't beat any decent.
Cheeto Vera doesn't beat any top 5 guys. He still beats 80% of bantamweights. You can't say a mid bantamweight is someone that's fighting on like the freaking Apex cards.
No, that's
like that's like 2-2.
That's what you think. I think Cheeto Vera is one of the most overrated fighters.
So then, according to you, everyone that's not a top 10 fighter is mid in the bantamweight division.
Lucas, don't talk about according to me, because every single point you said has been according to Lucas. So I don't care what you say according to me. What are you talking about? Everything you say is according to you, because you don't go off anything.
Okay, but my point is, when it comes to title wins, beating Jose Aldo, who is still doing well because those wins have aged well for Volkanovski, outclassing Aldo. He didn't just KO him. He didn't just knock him out. He outstruck him. That is not a title win. Yet that win, because it's against an all-time great, where it doesn't age poorly because Aldo doesn't go on to get schooled over and over and over again. Aldo goes on to win a bunch of times. He loses twice. He wins 4 or 5 times. That win ages well, and it's not a title win. And it can be as good as a title win. Yes, it can.
Well, okay, aging well is very subjective.
Let me ask you a question. What's better? Alexander Volkanovski beating Jose Aldo or John Jones beating Anthony Smith for a belt? What is a better win? Take away, just in and of itself, obviously beating Jose Aldo is better. He's a top 10 all-time fighter.
Brother,
Anthony Smith's Anthony Smith.
brother,
Just because it's for a belt doesn't mean it's automatically better.
What are these cherry-picking statements? Of course, beating Anthony Smith doesn't do jack for Jones. You're cherry-picking specific fights.
No. But I'm just proving the point that just because it's for a title doesn't mean it's necessarily better than a non-title win. Which goes to show that Alex Pereira beating Jan Blachowicz is as good as a title win. Like it's not. You can't count it as a title win. But on the all-time list, all that matters is, hold on. When it comes to the GOAT ranking, all that matters is what is the resume of the guy that they're beating. Jan Blachowicz has a great resume. Therefore, if you beat him and he's not washed, it is an amazing win.
Okay, in that case, I think Islam Makhachev's higher than Volkanovski in the GOAT list. I'm just going off what you said.
Wait, what did you say?
I think Islam Makhachev's greater than Volkanovski.
I disagree, but I do believe that Islam Makhachev is skyrocketing on the GOAT list. I personally think he's top 10.
Wait, why do you disagree?
A lot of people don't.
Why do you disagree?
Dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna cook. Now I'm gonna make you look.
No, hold on. I do. No. Let me just say this: a lot of people give me flack for putting Islam Makhachev in my top 15, and I say that that's delusional. I think Islam Makhachev's like on the all-time list, underrated. I think he's amazing, and I think he will pass Volkanovski. Like I think he will. But the reason why I have him slightly underneath Volk is because Islam Makhachev, the first win over Volk is like a great win. It's by decision. He's beating he beat the pound for pound number 1 by decision, which to me is even better than knocking him out because that means he's proving that he's better over the course of 5 rounds.
Yeah, you embarrassed him. 4-1.
Yeah. And then in the rematch, Volkanovski, 35 years old, injured, fat off of the couch.
God.
Hold on. So therefore, Volkanovski lost when it was statistically permissible to lose.
You're glazing. Bro,
and guess what? That was Volkanovski's second loss. That loss, I can look past it because guess what? No 35-year-old in UFC history has ever won a title in the weight classes 155 or below.
Now you want to use
ever.
Facts. That's the first fact you said this whole debate.
Yeah. So my point is, statistically,
let me just
it's okay. Statistically, it's not horrible for him to lose, and it was short notice, and he was fat, and he was off of an injury.
He was fat. Okay, I just love
this. So hold on. Islam Makhachev beating Volk the first time, it's amazing.
No, but let me talk about the second fight. Let me talk about why it was so great the second fight.
But guess what Volk did? Volk beat Holloway 3 times and Aldo. Yeah, no other guy can say that.
Lucas, I knew what you were going to say because that's Volkanovski's Glazer's favorite argument. He beat one guy, but he did it 3 times, so it must make it a win great. It doesn't mean shit. Yes, Max Holloway's on his resume. He argued lost the second fight. Who cares? The only fight that really matters in that fight was the third fight because that's the only fight where he significantly whooped him from start to finish. Every other
Volkanovski 4-1 Max Holloway in the first fight.
No, it was 3-2, but you could cope with that. You're a Lucas.
Okay, I'll cope, but you say it's 3-2. Therefore, Volkanovski still beat Max.
Yeah,
Max Holloway is one of the best fighters to ever live.
The fight that... No, he's not the best boxer. Islam's a better boxer than both.
No, I'm not saying best boxer. I'm saying Max is literally like one of the best fighters ever. That's a sick win for Volkanovski.
Yeah, it's a great win. And guess what Islam did to the guy that Max couldn't beat 3 times? The first time beat him in a short notice fight that you're gonna say, he was the most confident he's ever been in his takedown defense in his entire career. He went in there against Islam the first time and stuffed all these takedowns. I'm Volkanovski. I'm a national wrestler, the champion. I'm the GOAT. No one can take me down. He gets outstruck in the first into a head kick and slept, and he never been the same. I mean,
I think that Makhachev is close. I just think that when you tally up all the wins...
I'm not even done, though. Okay. Charles Oliveira, he had the longest active win streak at lightweight. He was running through everyone. Look, he beat Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler. Charles is impossible. He gets dropped on the feet for a dangerous striker who TKO'd Michael Chandler, all this stuff.
You're preaching to the choir. I agree. I agree that win is good.
He submitted.
I agree that win is amazing. No, I think that they're close. I think that they're close.
No, they're not close. I'm gonna keep telling why they're better. I'm telling you why he's better. Then he went against Dustin Poirier, the best boxer in the UFC, and he pieced him up on the feet. They said if Islam struggles to take him down against Dustin, it's over. It's gonna be it's not. He's gonna stand there. He's gonna beat the crap out of him standing. He's the best striker in UFC history, arguably in lightweight division. And then he's gonna out wrestle him and out grapple him. Islam is better than Volkanovski all time. Is not even remotely close. Focus nothing. Mo can't even kiss his feet. That's the most crazy comparison ever. Who's Volk to Volkanovski? Who's Volk to Islam Makhachev? It's not comparable. That's his son, bro. Literally.
No, okay, but hold on. I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think that they're close. Like, I don't think that they're that far off. The only reason I say that Volk is still slightly ahead is because, it's because when you add them all up, Volk's one bad loss, like one really bad loss, is to Makhachev the first time.
Ilya.
The second loss to Makhachev, I still rate Makhachev's win over Volk because he outstruck him and he shut him down on the feet.
Yeah,
and it wasn't like Volk gassed out. But the point is, I don't think it was like, listen, Volk just the chances of him winning that night were so slim, and he's 35, statistically permissible to lose. Hold on. It's still a loss. Like, I still count it as a loss for Volk, of course.
Bro, you don't.
But
you,
the Topuria fight, the Topuria fight, statistically permissible to lose because he's 35, coming off of a KO loss. That was the first loss Volkanovski's ever had in his division. It just so happens that Volkanovski is the only fighter to have two of the most statistically permissible moments where he could have lost and it wouldn't have hurt his resume that much.
Yo, listen, first of all, I don't like the way you said I count that is the second Islam win, bro. I don't care what you count, bro. Facts is what happened.
No, of course.
Out of him. Like, you can cope with that any way you want. I'm just saying, like, it's funny though.
No, I have Makhachev. I have Makhachev in my top 10. He's probably close to the top 5. I just don't know if I'm ready to say that he's low. If I'll tell you this, if Makhachev beats Arman, then I'll put him over Volk. If Makhachev beats Arman, I'll put him over Volk.
No, put him over him right now. And why is DC not over Volk? Why is it double champion one?
Oh my God. Okay, we can't do this. We can't do this.
Fair enough.
We can't do this.
Fair
you
enough.
can't do the DC thing.
I was gonna cook you because double champion.
No. Volkanovski's wins over Max Holloway 3 times and Jose Aldo.
Stop saying that. That's never gonna
DC. Wait, hold on. Let me just cook you on this. Was DC the best fighter at light heavyweight? Like, undisputed, was he the best fighter at light heavyweight? Never.
The GOAT was.
John Jones was always the best fighter.
That's the GOAT, though.
Yeah, I know. Guess what? Volkanovski in a division where Max Holloway was there. If Volkanovski doesn't exist, Max Holloway is the best featherweight champion in UFC history. No one would ever beat him at featherweight.
You can say that about Colby Covington.
Volkanovski outstruck. Hold on, Colby Covington.
You can say that about Colby Covington if Usman didn't exist at welterweight. Of course you can. What do you mean?
Colby Covington's dog shit compared to Max Holloway.
Yo, my point is, I can look at a lot of divisions and say, if this guy didn't exist, then this guy's the next up. I can do that with a lot of people.
Okay, no, I get what you're saying. My point is, DC can't even have the claim of being the best fighter of his era. He can't.
But you know what he has to claim to?
That's already an issue. That's already an issue.
But listen,
Daniel Cormier's best win is over who? Stipe? He lost to him twice. Daniel Cormier's second best win is to Gustafsson. Close fight. Rumble Johnson's a great win. Guess what? Volkanovski beat Jose Aldo. Okay. You think the Gustafsson fight is great? It was an extremely close fight. I'll give you 2 fights where Volkanovski styled on Max Holloway, and I'll give you the second fight where Volkanovski was down 2 rounds. Not only down 2 rounds.
Give it to me.
That's like being down 3 games in a freaking 7-game series. He was down 2 rounds to Max in a fight against a guy who has a granite chin you can't finish, unstoppable cardio, best volume puncher in UFC history, and he gets it done down 2 rounds in a title fight where everything's going against him. Melatonin gate. Volkanovski shits on DC's resume.
You know what trumps that though? Running through the whole lightweight division outside of John Jones, who's number 1 on the GOAT list, and going up and beating the consensus heavyweight GOAT, Stipe Miocic, the greatest heavyweight of all time, putting him to sleep, and then going after that, having a title defense out of 2 weight classes. One of 2 men's divisions.
And then he lost to him twice.
DC,
and then he lost to him twice.
It doesn't matter. DC and Henry Cejudo are the only ones to defend both belts in 2 weight classes. So he made
Henry Cejudo's Henry Cejudo's resume ain't shit compared to Volkanovski.
Went up and tried to beat the arguable, not the GOAT. He's not the GOAT because Khabib exists. But he went up and arguably tried to beat in the GOAT lightweight champion. What happened? He got embarrassed twice.
Because he fought. DC lost to old Stipe, but he was old too. Fair enough. Volkanovski's loss was to Khabib 3.0, a guy that can strike. Okay, that's not even that bad, and he had a close fight with him the first time.
Yeah, and he went up and beat heavyweight GOAT. That's not that bad either.
Yeah, he fought a heavyweight, a dog shit division.
So Stipe's dog shit now?
No, Stipe's not dog shit, but it's a different level of thing. It's easier to beat Stipe Miocic when you eye poke him than it is to beat Khabib 3.0.
Look at that! I love you. Always have a cope ready. I got to give you that. You know how to. Cope.
No, I stuck in a cope there, but I'm just saying, DC will never have a resume as clean as Volk. DC
is way better. You're right.
No. DC wasn't even undefeated in his own division until he was an old head. He lost to John Jones.
Outside of John Jones, he was undefeated at light heavyweight. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but he lost to Jones, and the guys that he beat at light heavyweight aren't as good as the guys Volkanovski beat. DC wasn't as dominant. DC wasn't as dominant. He's having a close fight with Alexander Gustafsson. Volkanovski dominated everyone in the featherweight division. Everyone in the featherweight division he dominated.
It's not the flex you think it is. Losing to John Jones.
Dominating Volkan Ozdemir ain't the same as dominating Jose Aldo and Max Holloway.
Everyone else. embarrass Rumble Johnson, choke them out in 2 seconds.
Rumble Johnson is not on the same level as Max Holloway.
Look at you, you're coping. Listen to my thing. You're trying to say, oh, he lost to the greatest of all time. He's bad. No, he's not. He lost to the greatest of all time. Went to heavyweight, lost to the greatest heavyweight of all time too. After knocking him out and being a double champion, defending both belts, he's way better than Volk. The fact that we're having this conversation,
Volk isn't losing till it's statistically permissible to lose.
Yeah, and I can say the same about DC losing to Stipe because he's 49 years old or something. What are you talking about? Exactly.
No, but Volk cannot. But DC had a much easier path to a second belt.
He didn't, though.
He did because the only reason he was able to win the title at light heavyweight to begin with is because Jones wasn't around.
Couldn't be there.
Jones wasn't around. That was the only reason.
Yeah, he's the greatest.
Volk wasn't having a razor close decision against some contender like DC had with Gustafsson. Volk was dominating Max Holloway. Former champion. Volk dominated Jose Aldo. Former champion. Different sort of fighters. Different sort of performances. Totally different. Volk lost to Habib 3.0 that can strike.
I agree. DC's way better than him.
And DC lost to old dog Stipe Miocic.
He was older.
Yeah, old dog Stipe. He's not the same. But anyway, hold on. I think we're gonna wrap it up because we've been debating for a while. But yeah, man, I think that is gonna be it for the debate. People have been asking me to debate this guy, Kenny Okoye. He has a YouTube channel as well. If you guys want to check him out. I mean, I'll basically let you plug the channel real quick just because you've already been up here. So you can plug it real quick, and then we're just going to get back to the live stream.
Fair enough, brother. Yeah, KennyOkoyeMMA. Sub if you want to. You don't have to. Shout out Lucas Tracy for taking the debate. Lucas has some funny takes. I like Lucas. He's actually one of the few MMA creators who's consistent. I like his content. He has some crazy takes, but I mess with Lucas. He's cool. He's a cool dude, for sure.
All right, man.
Appreciate that, bro. Peace.
All right, so we just debated him. It wasn't the plan. I mean, I was going to debate him down the line, but, the chat wanted me to debate him, so we had the debate. We will not watch. Okay. We had the debate. That was a spontaneous debate, but we got it done. I think I may have cooked him. I'll say this. Volkanovski's clear of DC. Volkanovski's so far clear of DC, but DC's a weird one. Because when you start saying, and I'll let you guys in on my arguments. We know Volkanovski's clear of DC, but DC's a weird one because when you start saying Volkanovski lost when it was statistically permissible to lose, they can always come back at you. Well, DC lost when he was an old head too. And it's like, bro, because I know that Volk is way clear of him, but I got to come up with like a really good recipe to cook people on that one. 50-42 Lucas Tracy. 50-42 Lucas Tracy. That was the Adesanya fan that people have been asking me to debate. Ilya owns Volk. I mean, no, I do think that Ilya is better than Volk. Mass debate when? We'll do a mass debate sometime soon. Actually, though, like we'll bring it back. Left Lane and me got to debate again. Me and Left Lane will hit a debate soon. But we just did one, so I told you guys I just wanted to debate this guy because people have been asking me to debate him for like the past week. I see Left Lane still in the chat. Age just number, it all makes sense now. Thank you for the $2, Raw OG. This guy's making Lucas look like an MMA genius. All right, thank you for the $2, Jack Russ. Lucas statistically permissible to lose. I should make a statistically permissible to lose Cope tier list. Should I do that? I kind of did that already with Volkanovski. I kind of did that with not with Volkanovski. I kind of did that last week, compromised fighters, but I should do a statistically permissible to lose video. Man, that was a flawless dub. Add him to the cookbook. Add him to the cookbook. That's funny. Thank you for the $5, Fam God. You definitely won, but chat was okay. Well, I didn't see the chat being racist. I didn't notice that at all. Thank you for the $2.79. I appreciate that, Rafi MMA. Lucas, you should do a hot takes debate with fans. Yeah, we'll definitely do that someday. I'll do another hot takes video too. Can't believe Kenny out yapped the yapper. Okay, thank you for the $2, Oscar. 50-42 Lucas. Appreciate the $2. Adesanya had a DUI 3 weeks before. Yeah, dude, Adesanya's DUI is over exaggerated. Adesanya was like 0.01 or 0.1 over the legal limit. And the legal limit in New Zealand is like close to nothing. It's extremely low. He was not, people talk about the DUI like Adesanya was shit-faced drunk. You know? It's basically like having a DUI in Japan. You drink in Japan and you drive, you have a fucking sip of alcohol and you get a DUI. It's not like he was drunk. I'm not saying he was at his absolute best against Strickland. I think he was rattled by the mental warfare stuff. I don't think the drinking was what lost him the fight. All right. I don't think you should be driving when you're drinking. If you have like one glass of alcohol, if you have one beer, all right, it's a little bit different. But, you know, I'm not trying to make an excuse for drinking. I don't think you should get behind the wheel if you're drinking, if you're out on a night drinking. Obviously, you shouldn't do that. But Adesanya was not shit-faced. He was like barely, probably sober, basically. Sean said himself that Alex's style sucks. He's just so big. Power is the greatest equalizer. I think that's cope. Sean Strickland's classically coping there. You know what I mean? Classically coping there. Okay? Like, Alex Pereira is objectively a highly technical kickboxer who has some of the best low kicks and leg kick checking and crafty moves. He's good in the clinch. He has a good ability to deflect shots. Doesn't have the best head movement, but a good ability to deflect shots and parry punches. Sean Strickland copes after losses quite often by saying shit like that. Strickland is the guy that would say, oh, he's just big and powerful and that's it. Like, it's not it. Like, Alex Pereira, are we just going to forget Strickland was walking him down? Are we just going to forget that Pereira was mashing up his legs and jabbing him up to the body? Like, Strickland was jabbing Sean Strickland up to the body and mashing him up to the legs. That is a cope. Thoughts on olive oil? Olive oil is good. I recommend, if you eat olive oil or if you get olive oil, I recommend making sure that you have it when it's cold. Or not necessarily cold, just, you don't want to heat up olive oil because then it kind of loses all of the beneficial properties. You don't want to heat it up. I definitely don't recommend that. It's best had when it's room temperature or cold because if you heat it up, then again, like, it becomes less healthy. If you're using any cooking oils, the oils that I recommend are ghee, clarified butter, regular butter, or coconut oil. Those are the oils that you should be cooking in. Olive oil is best if you just want to pour it on your meal, or if you want to dip bread into it or something like that, or if you want to take like a tablespoon of it. But for cooking, I don't recommend it. Please explain to MMA Joey. Bro insists Izzy lost solely because that's such DUI. Like, Adesanya has said in multiple interviews, thank you for the $5, my favorite shirt. Adesanya, I'll give him some credit here because he's had the opportunity to cope and say that I was partying and all that. When they've asked Adesanya in interviews, you know, were you partying? We heard about the DUI. He's literally said, I wasn't doing anything that I haven't been doing in my training camps. He's said that his training camp for Sean Strickland, when it came to partying, was no different than any other training camp, which means that he wasn't partying, he wasn't getting drunk, he wasn't getting shit-faced. He has said that I drink sometimes in my training camp, but he made it seem like, you know, he'll have like a glass of alcohol. That's it. He's not like, he's literally had said that he wasn't out here partying. That's BS. And getting drunk every night. Yeah, he was not getting drunk every night leading up into the fight. The thing that got Adesanya rattled was the drama created by the viral videos, MMA Guru talking about the dog, Sean Strickland bringing it up, the crowd in Australia rooting for Sean Strickland. I think that honestly kind of shocked Adesanya a bit when the crowd in Australia started booing him. I think that may have rattled him a little bit. And I think that may have put a lot of pressure on him. And I also think that he definitely trained hard for that fight, but I think he probably thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was because he had beaten Alex Pereira and he had the example of Alex Pereira, who he had beat, destroying Sean Strickland and making it look easy. So I think that when Adesanya had a hard time hitting I think that when he had a hard time hitting Sean Strickland early, you could see over the course of a few minutes in the first round, and I was talking about it like while reacting to it live, I was saying, wow, Adesanya already looks super uncomfortable, and like he's drenched in sweat. 3 minutes into that fight, Adesanya is like breaking out in a cold sweat. I think he expected it to be a lot easier, and when it wasn't going his way, he didn't have any answers. He didn't have an ability to come back and like make an adjustment. I think that he trained hard for the fight. He was prepared for it. Maybe he was mentally rattled, but Strickland was just really tough for him. Maybe he comes into the next fight with Strickland if they fight again and with a better game plan. Maybe he can adjust, but that was the issue. He couldn't adjust to Sean. What's your take on avocado oil? Avocado oil is all right. I just don't like it because it has a weird smell, has a weird taste. I'm not a fan of it just because of the taste. I don't really like it that much. Thank you for the $5, Kay. Izzy was the one that tried to wrestle against Pereira, lost to Sean Strickland in a striking match, lost to Jan. How is he the best striker? Thank you for the $5. Exactly. Listen, Adesanya is a great striker, but you're right. He has had too many losses via outstriking, and he's had too many close fights that, yes, he's one of the best in MMA, but he's never been the best. You can't be. Like, even Jan Blachowicz has never been the best striker, right? When I talk about best strikers, I'm thinking about which fighters have been dominant, which fighters have, like, not lost rounds. You know what I mean? You have to look at fighters that just don't get outstruck in a round, where if it comes down to a kickboxing battle, they're not getting outstruck. They're not getting beaten around. Wonderboy Thompson, Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, Sean O'Malley. Like, you got to have people that are, like, able to dominate people without finishing them. Yes, finishing people is impressive. It's not like some guys just knock people out, and that's really good. I'm not going to take away from knocking people out because that is in and of itself like very dominant, but yeah. Dude's voice is emotional and soy. Thank you for the $2, Raw OG. Thank you for the $2, Kenny smoking you. I don't think I was getting smoked in that. Dude, I think I got the better of him in the debate, but, you know, that's just because I know that my takes on Adesanya are bulletproof. My takes on Volk are good too, but the DC one, listen, Volk is definitely higher than DC on the all-time list, but when you start saying statistically permissible to lose, DC, they can say that, well, he was an old head too, so it's like, well, you know, here we go. Now I got to come up with something other than that. I got to brush up my DC Volk debate, even though Volk is ahead of him. Is he KO'd the only 2-division Clory kickboxing champ? And he also got beat by him too. And they're 1-1. Alex Pereira then went on to beat Jan Blachowicz and Sean Strickland, who Izzy couldn't. Alex Pereira has lost 1 in MMA, 1 in the UFC. Adesanya has lost 4 times. Alex Pereira has, like, you know, outstruck Jan, outstruck Sean, and, you know, Izzy's lost to them. So, like, what are we even talking about? They're 1-1. Yeah. Lucas 5043, that soy boy Kenny, and still, I would listen. You know, we're gonna insult the guy, but I think that, you know, we got to give him some respect. He hopped up on here. There's like 1,000 people, and he stood on business, so I got to respect that. I obviously disagree with what he was saying, and I think that I may have cooked him in the debate. I did have the oven on, and we did, you know, cook a meal there. But thank you for the $50. You know, he did come on here, and he was trying to hold his ground. All right, he was trying to hold his ground. So I respect that. But thank you for the $50. I appreciate that, Paulie. But yeah, I mean, Adesanya fans, listen. Adesanya fans are easy to debate. I'm telling you. They're easy to debate. I think that, I don't know who the toughest fans to debate are. But I don't know. But Adesanya fans are, you know, the easiest to debate in my opinion. Thank you for the $50, Paulie. I really appreciate that. And still, Habib Simps are still salty in the comments. Which comments? Thank you for the $2. I'm telling you, man, as Islam Makhachev continues to win, Khabib's legacy is no longer even going to be called into question that often. Makhachev is the new Khabib when it comes to like the GOAT-less combo. Bro, you just let this man brag about Izzy Vettori win, but then said all those bantamweight wins are trash. You full no. I didn't let him just say all those bantamweight wins were trash. He beat top 10 bantamweights. Marvin Vettori is an absolute bum. Like, you know, I think everyone in the chat would have agreed that beating Jose Aldo, if you're Volkanovski at the time, is way better than Izzy beating Marvin Vettori. I was just going to prove like that a title win is not necessarily always more impressive than a non-title win. Thank you for the 8 months membership, TD. Old heads do better in heavier divisions. True. That is true. That is true. Izzy's war with Kelvin Gastelum is kind of embarrassing now. It is. It is. I do agree. That has not aged well, going to war with Gastelum. But you know what? It doesn't even matter that much because that was one of the best fights of all time. So it is what it is. You know, it doesn't really matter that much. I think that having an all-time great fight's really good. Does it do you any favors necessarily? Well, you got to win it. But we can't call it a dominant performance. Us Jones fans are unbeatable. Jones fans are tough to debate on the GOAT list. They are tough to debate. I mean, I know the arguments against them. The arguments against them is Jones had a massive size advantage against fat middleweights. But, you know, he still had his wins against guys that were pretty big. You know, he had 2 wins over Gustafsson. DC was an old head, fair enough, but DC was still pretty good. Really good. And Jones beat Gane, which I think is a decent win. Gane was undefeated going into that fight. Thank you for the $2. If Volk wasn't born, where would Max be on the GOAT list? Max would be number 2, probably. I mean, how many title wins would Max have? Max, if Volk didn't exist, Max after Frankie Edgar, who would he have fought? Ortega again? You would have had a rematch. You would have beat Ortega. You would have beat Yair. You would have beat Allen. You would have beat TKZ. That's an extra 4 title wins. That's 7. Who else would he have beat? Arnold Allen, I guess. I mean, he probably would have like 8 title defenses. And then maybe, you know, we would see what would happen with Topuria. But yeah. I mean, if Volk didn't exist, then he probably would have fought other guys. He probably would have been fighting someone like frickin' Ige or some shit. He would have ran out of contenders. And honestly, maybe Max would have moved up to fight Charles. Maybe we would have seen Max versus Charles, because by the time Charles was in his title reign, maybe Max would have been so undeniable that instead of Charles fighting Islam or Charles fighting Gaethje, we would have seen Max move up to fight Charles, beat Charles, and then Max fight Gaethje and beat Gaethje. That is a possibility in a world where Volk doesn't exist. It is actually a possibility that if Volk doesn't exist, Max would have fought Charles when Charles won the belt. He would have beat him if he could have beat him, and then he would have fought Gaethje and beat him too and defended a second belt. Max would literally be like unstoppable. I'm telling you, he may have lost to Charles. You never know. Not Gaethje though. Kind of found that out. Styled on him. Significant feints, TKO doctors, unanimous decision. Kenny was yapping about Titty Izzy. He was yapping about feints in the Whitaker fight. Saying the feints were like a big factor. Like, the feints don't mean shit. I mean, they definitely are useful in MMA, but it's not getting counted as a point. Kenny would pick Malcolm Gordon to beat Pantoja. I don't buy that. I don't think he'd pick Malcolm Gordon. I think he's just like, you know, Izzy's his boy. Izzy's his favorite guy. Izzy was the one that tried to wrestle against Pereira. Izzy did try to wrestle against Pereira. True. Lost to Sean Strickland in a rematch, but Pereira did also take Izzy down. So there's a little bit of both. A little bit of both. Lost to Jan. How is he the best striker? Yeah, exactly. I agree. He said it before the fight, not after. He said it both times. Izzy said he had a good camp before the fight, and he also said it after. I mean, he had interviews, multiple interviews that I saw after his loss to Sean Strickland where he was talking about that when he was asked about the DUI, because the DUI information came out after the fight, I believe. Gee wee whiz. Thank you for the $10. Fart God. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the $10. Dude, I think, what's his name? Raul Rosas should try to turn that into something. He should try to market that. Honestly, he should make that his nickname. I don't know what Raul is. Does Raul Rosas have a nickname? Raul Rosas Jr. El Nino, right? El Nino is his nickname. Is it El Nino? Either way, that he should make that his nickname and have Bruce Buffer have to say that at every single fight. Why are people now acting like Islam schooled Volk? I mean, he did in the rematch, but yeah, I mean, the first fight was extremely close. Even though Makhachev won, it was very close. Skill for skill, lightweight, featherweight is much better than light heavyweight and heavyweight. I know, it is. 100%. There's no argument against that. Thank you for the $2. Crashed. He sounds like he's finna cry. Thank you for the $2. Dylan Reese. I appreciate that. Kenny smoking you. Thank you for the $2, Titano. I don't think I was getting smoked. Alex has been in for a shorter amount of time and beat the challenges Izzy couldn't overcome. Exactly. I mean, I think it's a very simple argument as to why Alex has passed Izzy. I don't think it's by much, but he definitely has. I mean, 1-1 with Izzy. So right off the bat, like, again, it's the same thing with Makhachev's resume. People just gloss past what he did to Charles Oliveira. They'll be like, what's he done outside of beating Volk? Volk, a featherweight, and Dustin? Like, they'll just totally forget about the first fight that he had against Charles, where Charles is one of the best champs ever at lightweight. Similar with Izzy and Pereira. Like, Izzy knocked him out in their last fight, but what happened in the first fight? We're just going to act like that was less meaningful because it wasn't a out cold KO. I actually think it's just as meaningful. I mean, you can't say the second win was better than the first. It was a better KO, but when it comes to ranking the win all time, like, it's the same shit. Yeah. Lucas, he don't even have Volk in his top 10. He's definitely got to have Volk in his top 10. Thank you for the $2, Fam God. 2 weeks notice underweight and got laid on. Who? 2 weeks notice underweight and got laid on. Who are you talking about? 2 weeks notice? Laid out, you mean? Volk? Who are we talking about? Lucas, you should start a round table with other content creators. That would be really fun to listen to, similar to the Player's Choice. Yeah, I've seen Player's Choice before. I tune into their podcast every now and then. That actually would be a good idea. That would be a good idea. 2 meaty hooks are better than 20 significant pitter-pat punches if they rock the opponent. If they rock him, then I agree. Thank you for the $2. Niff. This guy, Kenny, is making Izzy look worse and is proving the Izzy fan stereotype true. Okay, thank you for the $5. Listen, I think it's delusional to say Izzy's the best striker to ever touch the sport when the guy's gotten outstruck multiple times and his decision wins are nothing dominant, you know? Ask him what happened to his boy Sadiq. What, to Lopez? Yeah, I saw that fight yesterday. 1 minute. Kenny getting cooked like a soup. Botched. Thank you for the $2, Oscar. I appreciate that. Kenny really ignored the Strickland fight. I mean, I wasn't even bringing up the Strickland fight, but you can always chuck that in there too. Yeah. It's not just the Pereira loss and the Blachowicz loss. And again, there are robberies, so the Yoel Romero and the Whitaker loss, you know? I mess with Kenny, but bro is unapologetically biased towards Nigerian fighters. He literally has Usman as the welterweight GOAT. I hate GSP, but come on. Yeah. But honestly, Fam God, I thought you've said that Usman's arguably the welterweight GOAT. Maybe I'm wrong, but thank you for the $5. I appreciate that. He's definitely a little bit biased, or very biased. This is annoying. Thank you for the $2. Well, it is over. Thank you for the $2, Noah. I appreciate that as well. Sean Strickland beat Izzy the dog lover with 0 count takedowns. Yeah, exactly. No takedowns. Bring up Sean. Kenny is coping about Strickland. When is he? Hey, I don't remember what he said about Strickland. I don't even think we discussed that much, but maybe he brought up the DUI. Are you going to muzz on a New York City subway for 100K subs? Yep. That's good. That's the plan, man. Hit a big muzz. No, I'm joking. I don't know what I'm going to do for 100K, but I'm going to try to get something special going. I don't know when I'm going to hit 100K. Maybe July. I think that's the goal. Late July, mid-July. Alex stopped Strickland. Izzy couldn't. True. Thank you for the $2, Titano. Very true. All I'm saying is Adesanya hasn't been put to sleep in back-to-back title fights, and he never loses title fights as a contender. I mean, again, he's lost title fights. I mean, yeah, he's a good champion. He's been pretty good as a UFC fighter. Yeah, Izzy's been pretty all right. Izzy's been pretty all right. He's had an okay career, but definitely not the GOAT. All right? He's not a 3-time champ. And he's not a 2-time champ. Izzy's not a 2-time champ. He's a 7-time champ. Adesanya has won the belt 7 times. No more 3-time champ BS. All right? I don't want to hear it. That's just cope. All right? I think I'm caught up on everything. Chimaev ducking fights, seeing food poisoning. I don't think Chimaev ducked Whitaker, dude. I think his just immune system's messed up. He got food poisoning. I don't hold it against him. I don't think you can shit on Chimaev for getting sick and being hospitalized, man. That's, it's not like he got injured and he had a choice. Oh, should I step in? I have a broken hand. Should I still fight and fight through it? It was, he got sick, What's he supposed to do? I mean, he was probably not just dealing with a fever. It was probably pretty bad. We don't know how serious it was, but he was in the hospital. I'm sure he wouldn't have wanted to be there. Hamzat's not the type of guy to duck someone. Don't do Sadiq like that. He's a good dude, chat. Thank you for the $2. Yeah, Sadiq Yusuf is a good fighter, man. A little bit chinny, unfortunately, but he is all right. Entertaining. Alex also did better on the back foot against Sean. True, he was fighting on the back foot the whole time. Jabbing him up on the back foot. Dude, knocked out Yuri on the back foot, even though it was an early stoppage. I rewatched that stoppage again today. Every time I rewatch the Yuri and Alex Pereira stoppage, it gets earlier and earlier every single freaking time. Crazy, bro. I wish I could play it live for you guys and show you, but I can't. We'll do a robbery series, though. Losing to Jan is not that big of a deal. Jan just smoked Reyes, who had beaten Jones. I agree. I don't think it's the worst loss. I don't think Izzy losing to Jan ruins him or whatever. It's just an example of him getting outstruck. That's it. Yeah, it's not like he's getting outstruck by a bum. He's getting outstruck by one of the better fighters. Jan was one of the best fighters in the UFC at the time. Still is good. But it's just when you're claiming that Adesanya is the best striker ever, or the best in the UFC, no doubt, then there shouldn't be this many examples of Adesanya losing striking battles. Jimmy has 6 failed bookings, classic duck. I mean, he's only pulled out what? He pulled out against, listen, people act like Chimaev pulled out of his fight with Paulo Costa just because it fell through. He fought Kamaru Usman. He was in there. He pulled out against Whitaker. He pulled out in 2020 because he was really sick. I don't think he's a duck. I don't think you should call him a duck. Chimaev is not a guy that just pulls out for no reason, dude. Visa issues, all right? And he's been sick. It's beyond his control. Drew Dober of YouTube didn't go at bedtime like that. Okay, thank you for the $2. Well, to be fair, bedtime and I were debating something that was a little bit more difficult to debate in Paddy Pimblett and Benoit because he had already conceded to the idea of Benoit being better than Paddy. If bedtime had started off with, well, I think Paddy is better than Benoit, then it would have been a better debate. Thank you for the $5. Gato Tutorials. Thoughts on MMA Joey saying Poetan's legacy is tainted because he fought Yuri and Hill on short notice? Listen, I think that, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. It's all relative. Is Alex Pereira's win over Yuri the best win that anyone's ever had over Yuri? Maybe not. right? Maybe someone else has beat him. Like there's been a guy that's beat him more dominantly back in the day. But Yuri had a full training camp for that. It was not on short notice. I remember they announced the Yuri fight in August or early September. They announced the Yuri fight in early September, and they fought in November. That's not a short notice fight at all. The Hill fight, I understand it's more short notice, and Hill was coming off of the injury just like Yuri. Yeah, it's not like he beat the best versions of them necessarily, but it's not like they freaking jumped in off the couch. It's not the same thing as Dominic Cruz fighting Cejudo with a week's notice when Aldo pulls out. It's not Volk jumping off the couch. It's not Usman jumping off the couch to fight Chimaev. These guys had multiple months. Jamal Hill had 2 months. Yuri had 2 months. He said that he lost to Blachowicz. There is an argument that he lost to Blachowicz, but I don't think he lost to Blachowicz. I think that the judges actually got that right. I picked Blachowicz, so it would have been cool for me to get my pick right, but I think he beat Blachowicz, 2nd and 3rd round. Yeah. But MMA Joey doesn't dislike Alex Pereira. I mean, he doesn't dislike him. Jimmy Quacks. Okay. Thank you for the $2.79 Canadian dollars. Obviously not the biggest guy, not the biggest fan of Chimaev. When are you going to start the damn PFL channel? Guys, I mean, okay, let me ask you. I'm thinking about, for at least a couple months, just kind of experimenting with PFL breakdowns and Bellator breakdowns. There are lots of other content creators that are covering the UFC. What do you guys think? Lots of other content creators doing the UFC. Why not be the only guy to be breaking down PFL and Bellator outside of Artem MMA? There's only one other guy, Artem MMA. May as well. Let's do it for a couple of months. No more UFC for a couple months. I'm going to only cater to real hardcore fans. No, I'm joking. Debate Kenny. I already did debate Kenny. We debated him earlier on the stream. This guy might literally just now be getting here. He has no idea. It's in the middle of the stream. Meaty hooks are better than straight punches. Thank you for the $5. Ours. I appreciate the $5. Thank you so much. I'm talking about Sean saying Alex sucks. He said it before the fight. Stop lying. Oh, okay. Before the fight, I agree. No, I remember, yeah. Strickland was saying, oh, you think I'm scared of this big, scary Brazilian kickboxer? This guy sucks, dude. I outstrike kickboxers all the time in the gym. Yeah. I remember he was talking a lot. I mean, this is before Strickland and Pereira had become friends and like had teamed up. Now, Pereira is like in Sean Strickland's corner. Yeah, I mean, he got embarrassed, bro. He got shut down. That was a satisfying victory. I mean, I picked Strickland to win that fight. I'm happy he got KO'd. I mean, that was a sick KO. That was a great KO, man. It was satisfying to watch. Pereira is the most satisfying KOs for me is like when you got a loudmouth going up against like stone face Alex Pereira and he just chins them effortlessly. Jamal Hill, Sean Strickland. That's not to say that I dislike Jamal Hill and Sean Strickland. I do actually like the fact that they were selling the fights. Sean Strickland is one of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC and on the mic. And Jamal Hill was selling the fight. I'm happy that they both sold the fight and talked a lot of shit. But I'm just saying, like, it is kind of satisfying to see Pereira KO them as well. Meaty hooks Emmett is the GOAT running from him. Okay. I'm not ducking Emmett. You know what? I feel like Josh Emmett is the one guy that would be down to do like a collab. I don't know. All these other UFC fighters are big time me. Josh Emmett and I could do a collab. Right? I have called him the Green Goblin before, which may not be that nice, but, you know, I'd like to do a Meaty Hooks collab with Josh Emmett. He can teach me how to throw the hook. Because my hooks are terrible. I've always had, when I've been training, I've always had a decent jab. I've had an okay right hand, a decent left. I feel like my straight left is better than my straight right, even though I'm an orthodox fighter. From southpaw, I have a better straight rear hand than from orthodox. But I have a good jab. I have a decent lead hook. the thing that I suck at the most, and I suck at everything, but like relative to what else, all the other techniques I have, I always struggled with the rear hook, the power hook from my right hand. It's very unnatural for me to throw it. Like, I don't know. I got to be in on close range. I don't have a very long reach. Oh, I only have a 79-inch reach, which is not that great. That would be awesome. Thank you for the $2, ours. I would love to do a collab with Emmett. I could do, you're not the Diego Lopez fan. There's another Diego Lopez fan. But I guess your messages remind me of the other Diego Lopez fan in here. You're the Josh Emmett guy. There's a Diego Lopez guy. There's another Diego Lopez fan that hates the fact that I want to see that fight, but I could do a collab with Diego Lopez or Josh Emmett. That'd be a really good collaboration to do. You don't have a 79-inch reach, bro? Why would I lie about having a 79-inch reach? It's not even a crazy reach. Sergey Pavlovich is like an 84-inch reach. John Jones is like an 85-inch reach. Why would I lie? To be fair, I don't know my reach right now. The last time I had my reach measured was when I was 14. Doctor said it was like 79, something like that. I was like, all right. I didn't really know what it meant at the time. You guys are saying it's a crazy reach. I don't know my reach. It might be, I don't know, maybe you got it wrong. Maybe it's like 77 or something like that. What do you think of MMA Guru destroying Islam by saying he has not fought any lightweights with proper hips? Listen, I think that Dustin Poirier freaking showed a really good version of himself. And Makhachev was blind as a bat, pale as a ghost. But Poirier does have bad hips. Volkanovski, to sit here and say he hasn't fought Volkanovski's a freaking juggernaut at lightweight when it comes to his takedown defense and his ability to scramble and his speed and IQ and output. Volk and Arman is a very similar stylistic matchup. Charles Oliveira, proper hips, proper size, massive lightweight. I don't understand it. I mean, you may as well just say he needs to fight Arman Tsarukyan. That's basically what you may as well just say that. He's got to fight another grappler. There's literally one other grappler that's a tough matchup. Gamrot would be an interesting fight, but it's not necessary. It's not a necessary matchup. I need to see the Arman fight, though. I'm a Makhachev fan, but I'm not afraid of the Arman smoke. I want the Arman smoke. Makhachev needs to prove that he's better than him. Then we can move on to the other division. Thoughts on a 4th or 6th round if it's a draw? But the issue is, you don't even know if it's a draw until they stop the fight for multiple minutes. I mean, I guess you could tally them all up pretty quickly. I don't like it. I don't think we need it. I think 5 rounds is plenty for a title fight. And you might have fighters fighting as if it could be a draw to maintain energy. I don't think it's good. I don't like it. Bellator and PFL equals WMMA. Coin flip equals joke. True. I agree. A lot of shitty fights in those. £10 weight miss? No way. Wait. The weigh-ins are now? No way. No way, dude. I don't believe that. 10-pound weight miss? I didn't even know the weight. John Jones posted that there's a black bear in his garage. Black bear. People that think black bears are actually that great, that are actually tough, look at the freaking size of this bear on John Jones's camera or whatever. They're not that tough. Black bears are the most overrated, dangerous animals ever. Literally the most overrated animals ever. They're tiny. I hear people saying, dude, a black bear is the size of a small tiger. Has anyone ever seen a black bear that's actually big? I've never. Every single footage of a black bear in someone's backyard or trash can is basically the height of a freaking midget clown at a circus. They're the height of a dog on a freaking, on a unicycle with the freaking spinny hat. with a propeller hat. Black bears are not tough at all. And rating them based on the top 1% genetically gifted full-grown males is not necessarily the way you need to rate them. You need to rate them based on the average size black bear. The average size black bear is like 150 pounds. Goofy, easily scared off. They're not tough. Grizzly bears and polar bears are tough, but not black bears. Maybe listen, there are some black bears that would fuck me up. You know what I mean? But that's like saying there are some people that could fuck me up. But there's also a lot of people that I could beat in a fight too. You know what I mean? Like you could be Islam Makhachev. You beat most people in a fight. Of course, there's like a couple MMA fighters that are heavier than you that could beat you, but Islam Makhachev is still a guy that beats the average person. Like I'd still beat the average black bear. Most black bears are little goobers. Exactly. They're goofy goobers. They're not scary. They're goofy. I honestly would go up to one of them and freaking pat it on the snout and like throw a freaking tennis ball to it like it's a dog. I'm not afraid of them. I'd be more scared of a chimp. I'd be more scared of... I'd be more scared of like a freaking angry dog. A freaking angry dog is scarier than a black bear. Okay? Like a freaking rabid dog. More scary than a black bear. Way more scary. Way more scary, dude. And even those I could easily take out in a fight. Unless it's one of these like Tasmanian mastiffs. Right? A wolf is less intimidating. Wild animals are not as intimidating as dogs. Most dogs are not intimidating. I'm talking about, I would rather fight a fully grown wolf rather than like a freaking Mongolian sheep shepherd. Mongolian sheep shepherds are the ones that are like, okay, those I don't want to fuck with because they're like 300 pounds, 8 feet tall. Wolves are like, because wild animals are like fit, they're in shape, they're not fat. These dogs, these freak mutant dogs are like fattened up by the people, and they're dangerous and they're like trained by humans. They're more dangerous. They're literally trained by humans that are smart. Wolves hunt little freaking rabbits. Come on. Wolves hunt rabbits and little deer, but they use a pack. It's like, could a human beat up a freaking woolly mammoth? No. But could a pack of us? Yeah, a pack of us could. With freaking knives and spears. Same way a wolf pack would beat my ass, but a wolf versus me, it's a close fight, man. It's a close fight. Domesticated dogs, some are though, because some dogs are trained for combat. There are sheep dogs in Tasmania, not Tasmania. There are like sheep dogs in hilly areas in the mountains of Dagestan or Kazakhstan that are massive and vicious, that are trained to defend sheep from like coyotes and stuff. Those are vicious and they're smart and they're trained by people to be deadly. That's the same logic as saying the best fighter in the world is probably from like some unknown remote island where there's like an uncontacted tribe where they don't even train MMA. MMA fighters that are trained are the best. Trained MMA fighters are the most dangerous in a combat fight. Not some like random person that no one's ever heard of. It's the same thing with wolves. The most dangerous dog is a dog that's been trained by a human to be vicious. That's been trained by a human to like, because they train dogs like certain techniques. You get my point? How? I don't know, because all a dog can do is bite up and bite down. That's the funny thing about animals. Animals are overrated. They can literally bite up and bite down. Imagine being scared of a freaking dog. All they do is open and close their mouth. Like, that's the most one-dimensional. That's the equivalent of fighting a person that can only throw a freaking right hook. That can't kick or check your kicks. They can't throw a jab. They can't shoot a takedown. It's the equivalent. It's even easier. At least a hook's coming at you. As long as you swap out of the way of a bite. Lucas sees himself from Liam Neeson from The Gray. Yeah, that's a sick movie. That's a great movie. Liam Neeson in The Gray. Awesome movie. You have no idea? Listen, I'm being honest. I'm saying that I have a better chance against a grown wolf that's used to chasing down rabbits, that doesn't know how to attack a person. Because the thing is, shepherd dogs are around people. They're trained by people to protect flocks of sheep. They're trained to be guard dogs, and they know people. They see people, they interact with people. A wolf isn't really going to know where to attack you. They don't know to jump at your neck. They know how to get the neck of a deer. They don't really know how to get the neck of a human's neck is high up, like a wolf is looking up at you. They're going to attack your arm. You could freaking swat it off. Swat it off like a bumblebee. Swat it off like a freaking bumblebee, bro. You're talking about foxes. No, I'm talking about wolves. Wolves are small. I've seen footage of people. I've seen footage on YouTube of people zooming in from 50 miles away in a field in Montana looking at a wolf. And those things are freaking tiny. I've seen footage of wolves from 50 miles away on an extremely good camera. And those things are small. I'm not afraid of a wolf. I actually would be scared of a wolf, but I'm just saying I'd rather fight a wolf than one of these shepherd dogs. He thinks black bears weigh 150 and has a 79-inch reach. Black bears are like skinny, goofy goobers, all right? Some of them are dangerous, but most of them aren't, to me, to most men, to most grown men. If you're a kid, of course. You know what I mean? If you're an old lady, yeah, you don't want to fuck with them because they'll sense that you're like old and weak. But if you're a guy who's clearly fit and in shape and you can make noise and pump yourself up, yeah. The thing is, bears are like the ones where you got to do mental warfare. Mental warfare is a big part of beating a bear. They're some of the only predators that'll freaking cave to you just screaming at it. I've seen footage of grizzly bears running away from like a bunch of scrawny scientists because they're simply yelling at it. That's the equivalent of someone breaking via trash talk in a Connor fight. Thank you for the $10. No joke, I had a dream where you were on stream and you said Eddie Hall outside your window. Then you yelled, "Hey, remake the twerk." Okay, what the fuck are you talking about? And started dying laughing. Then Eddie Hall yelled, "Grow up." That is a very weird dream that you had. Thank you for the $10, G. I appreciate that. That is a pretty funny dream. Eddie Hall is a dangerous person. You know I say that Eddie Hall is overrated, but he's only overrated because he would lose to like high-level MMA fighters that are heavy. He's obviously like, he's beaten 99.99999% of people in a fight. Stick to MMA, bro. Okay. I got you. That's why I'm talking about these animals in an MMA fight. Lucas, let's hit a lift and take trend like Islam. I don't think Makshev's not taking trend. MMA fighters don't take trend, guys. They're not that dumb. Trend is a lot harder to get away with taking. And I don't think it's a drug that would really increase your performance that much for MMA. I don't know if it really helps you with your endurance or anything. It helps you with your strength, but there's other things that can help you with your strength and recovery. It's just, I don't know. I don't know, man. Izzy has that crispy left. I just feel like he's going to play Dricus like an instrument. I will say this, you know, because I make fun of the McGregor fans for overhyping McGregor's ability in 2024 for saying things like, I just think McGregor's going to slip him onto a fiddly like a left hand. I think McGregor's going to play him like an instrument, like a hop. I do make fun of that. Izzy actually does sometimes have the ability to do that. Izzy did kind of play Pereira like an instrument in the rematch up against the fence. He kind of did. Same thing with Paulo Costa. He played Paulo like an instrument. He's still capable of doing that to the right opponent. But he's overrated to do that. Like, here's the thing. People are looking at this Adesanya-Dricus du Plessis matchup as if Adesanya's not sloppy, Dricus is, therefore Adesanya is going to school him on the feet. And Dricus' way to win is to mix in the grappling. I look at it as Dricus du Plessis is a really durable fighter that has amazing cardio that's going to make it a really weird, ugly fight. And Adesanya, I think his counter-striking is all right, but if Dricus is somewhat defensively sound, like Dricus is going to be throwing straight shots, he's going to be barreling forward, but he's not going to be like, I don't know, it's weird because Dricus does look sloppy, but he still is somehow defensively sound. Like against Whitaker, he was defending a lot of Whitaker's strikes and still barreling forward. And he's going to be mixing in the takedowns. I think that Adesanya, for the most part, he's a guy that jabs, he circles, he leg kicks. He jabs, he circles, he leg kicks. Every now and then he'll fire a right hand, but he's low output. I could see Dricus outstriking him just via offense, via making it look ugly. I don't think Adesanya is just going to style on him. Izzy's not like the leg kick, circle, jab, leg kick, 1, 2, here's a fadeaway hook. He's not this guy that's constantly working. He's jab, circle, 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 feint, circle, circle, leg kick, feint, 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 back up, jab. Like, that's kind of the rhythm in which he's throwing strikes at. And I think Dricus is going to overwhelm him on the feet. And I honestly think he's going to have decent defense. Like, Dricus is a smart fighter. You know what I mean? He's also got every single advantage when it comes to physicality. Not every, like, he doesn't have the longer reach, but he's not as tall. But he's stronger. He has amazing cardio, arguably better cardio than Adesanya. Adesanya has good cardio, but Dricus' cardio is weird. He can throw everything into his strikes and still push a pace and still shoot takedowns. Like in the 4th round, Dricus is throwing with high output and still landing takedowns on Strickland, which is crazy. Lucas is racist towards bears. Okay, thank you for the $2. I mean, I think that people are obviously better than bears. People are superior to bears. We are higher on the food chain. A bear is stupid at the end of the day. Yeah, we can all sit here and say, well, polar bears beat up people. What? Dude, I could freaking set a trap on a polar bear easily. You know what I mean? In real combat, in real life, humans beat bears. In real life. When we're prepared. Yeah, if you get ambushed by a bear, you're screwed. But when okay, I'm going to fight a bear, humans are smart enough to come up with a game plan. Like, if it's me and a bear, I'm freaking getting some bait, like you would in Red Dead Redemption 2 and a regular hunt. You have some predator bait. You freaking get a chunk of meat, pop it right up there on a cliff. You hide underneath a rock. And you freaking push the bear off when it's smelling the meat. You freaking get up behind it and you tip it over the wall. Okay? Like the Native Americans used to do to buffaloes. Nah, you wouldn't be able to push it over a wall. But, listen, you can't beat a buffalo in a one-on-one fight. But you round them up and you freaking chase them off of a cliff. People are always smart enough to beat an animal. Give me a weapon. Give me a game plan. I'm freaking beating the bear. Okay? Give me a cliff, give me a weapon, I'm running it off of that cliff. I'm startling it and turning it. You know what I'm doing? This is bad. I'm getting a freaking stuffed animal bear. I'm getting a stuffed animal bear and I'm holding it up like this. Hey, hey, hey. And I'm literally treating it like a matador. I'm waiting for it to run past me and I'm freaking dropping it off the cliff, having it run past me. And I got bear stew for dinner. That's what I'm doing. It'll think a bear is so stupid. It'll just make itself believe that it has a kid. It'll literally just be a stuffed animal bear. Easy work. Bear meat's dirty. It is dirty. Yeah, there's a lot of pests or parasites that can be found in bear meat, and also you'll find like a lot of eggs in their fur. A lot of weird eggs, parasite eggs. Disgusting. Yeah, you really do have to clean bear meat. I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't really trust it, man. Bears, for whatever reason, do have dirty meat. They're kind of like the pork and chickens of the predator meat world. Bear meat. I've seen that guy, Ranilla, that Joe Rogan's collabed with, that says bear meat tastes like blueberries. I can almost taste the blueberries. Bullshit. No, you can't. You can't taste the blueberries that a bear's had. No way. Even with a full training camp of Wolf Kimura's you? No way. Thank you for the $2, but no chance. Do you think Perry's going to get knocked out by Jake Paul? I think Mike Perry beats Jake Paul. I think Mike Perry's actually going to come out without a care in the world and slug for the fences and knock Jake the fuck out. I think Jake Paul has to knock him out really early. If Jake Paul isn't dropping a washed up Nate Diaz, a soy boy Nate Diaz, who's not like built for combat anymore. If he's not dropping him left and right and embarrassing him with a weight advantage and a chin advantage and a speed and athletic advantage, I don't see him totally washing out Mike Perry. I think Mike Perry's actually going to survive early, and I think he's just going to beat the shit out of Jake Paul. I could see Mike Perry TKOing him. Because Perry, unlike a lot of other fighters, is actually not going to care about losing. Mike Perry doesn't give a fuck about losing. Yes, he doesn't want to get KO'd. Yes, he doesn't want to just get hit, but he's going to be willing to just step into the fire and actually fight him for real. Whereas Nate Diaz wasn't, right? People talk about Diaz is going to come forward like a zombie. He did that like in 2014, bro. He doesn't do that anymore. Nate Diaz does not want to get hit. That's why he turns his back on people and runs across the octagon and tries to slow down the fight to distract the guy from beating his ass. But Perry doesn't care about taking damage. He'll actually move forward. I think Perry beats him. Thoughts on the world's current best MMA fighters only eating horse meat? They don't only eat horse meat. I mean, I know they eat horse meat in Kazakhstan, but does Topuria eat horse meat? I don't think it's weird to eat horse meat, but that's not necessarily true. Thank you for the $5. I've heard it tastes pretty good. You're going to let Artem out hardcore you, Flukus? Artem MMA is the hardcore fan. He's the real hardcore fan. I'll give him that. All right? No one's more hardcore than Artem MMA. He's breaking down PFL cards, Cage Warriors cards. Like, I mean, listen, I like MMA. Maybe not as much as Artem. All right? I love MMA. But there are people that might like it even more. That's the sign of a real hardcore fan will admit that, you know, listen, I love MMA, but I ain't watching this one and this one. But there are some people that actually do enjoy watching PFL. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I am going to get out of here. All right. Thank you for the $2. I'm going to do a member stream later. I'm going to film a video. All right. I'm going to film a video. Before I upload my video, I'm going to do a member stream. So if you're a member, I'll be live in around 4 hours. Okay. I'm going to eat, think about the video I want to film, and then I'll do a member stream. So members, I'll be back later. Of course, that'll be saved. And I'll leave this up. All right. Since this was a pretty good stream. And I'm going to do a video as well. So I will see you guys. Thank you for the $2. How do you think Conor and Nate 3 would play out? I think Diaz actually TKOs Conor because I don't think Conor could put Diaz away because I think that he would drop him. Conor would beat Nate Diaz up early because even a washed Conor is still much more like powerful and explosive and fast and durable than Diaz in the first, but I think Diaz would survive and just put it on Conor in the later rounds. Mr. Epic, thank you for becoming a member. My favorite chart, early prediction on Holloway versus Topuria. I can't give you the best prediction, honestly. Thank you for the $2 because it's either Topuria has a similar out-damaging performance against Holloway, maybe lower output than Volk in the trilogy, but more damage, and he wins just because Holloway's all busted up, or Holloway KOs him. Or Styles on him with kicks. It's too close for me to call right now. I'll see you guys later. Until next time.